Chapter 1271. Mom. Yun-er is so powerful. Who dares to provoke her? That's right, Mom. Yun-er is too powerful. Even if the two of us want to help you deal with her, there's nothing we can do. Aren't you just making sarcastic remarks? That's bullsh*t. Who doesn't know how to bullsh*t? Hu Chunhua cursed. After that, Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuiying's faces turned pale. They didn't know what to say for a moment. Okay. Let's go back. Just pretend that the food was eaten by a dog. How can we catch the thief? No one will admit that they stole it. Hu Chunhua said. She felt uncomfortable and didn't want to say more. Instead, she went back to her room. Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuiying looked at each other and rolled their eyes at each other. One of them didn't like the other. Zhao Yun-er went to chat with Liang Jinxiao casually and then started to cook. Liang Jinxiao said to Zhao Yun-er in the kitchen, I don't know who stole the vegetables in your grandma's house. If they don't find out, they'll definitely think that we stole it. After all, it was always uncomfortable to be suspected. Liang Jinxiao was most afraid of this. He didn't usually do such things. Naturally, he felt uncomfortable when he was suddenly accused of doing such a thing. Zhao Yun-er understood what Liang Jinxiao was thinking. She said to Liang Jinxiao, Mom, don't worry about this. It doesn't matter. Anyway, you didn't steal it. What right do they have to suspect you? I think. What do you think? I think it was second uncle who stole these vegetables. Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun-er in confusion. Yun-er, why did you say that your second uncle stole it? Zhao Yun-er chuckled. Because there's no one else other than him. The one with the worst moral character in old Zhao's family should be Zhao Wenshui. Usually, he was lazy and even stole money. For things like stealing, if there was a first time, there would be a second time. It was very easy to commit the same crime again. In old Zhao's family, it was impossible for the fourth branch to be involved. Although there were some weirdos in the first branch, they wouldn't do such a sneaky thing. It could only be Zhao Wenshui. If that's really the case, then there's nothing we can do. We can't catch them, so we can only let it go, right? Mother, it's not that we can't catch them, it's that we don't want to. I think we can try to catch this thief today. Zhao Yun-er's mouth curled up into an arc thinking of the mouse trap from before, it could come in handy now. How do we catch them? Liang Jinxiao looked at Zhao Yun-er curiously. She naturally hoped that Zhao Yun-er could catch the thief so that she could prove her innocence. She didn't want Hu Chunhua to complain that she stole again. Mother, this is simple, Zhao Yun-er told Liang Jinxiao the method, but it was just using the mousetrap. She first told Zhao Baoshan that she would put the mousetrap in the kitchen at night. If Zhao Wenshui continued to steal, he would definitely go to the kitchen. When that time came, he would naturally be caught by the mousetrap. It would be strange if Zhao Wenshui didn't scream. After all, Zhao Xinhui was tortured so badly that his leg was almost crippled. Chapter 1272. If the culprit was Zhao Wenshui, Liang Jinxiao would not have to explain himself. Liang Jinxiao's innocence would be proven. After Liang Jinxiao heard this, he felt that Zhao Yun-er was right and made sense. Although this method was a little cruel, compared to the act of stealing from one's own family, this method was not too much of a problem. Yun-er, that's fine. We'll do as you say. It's just that your second uncle will have to suffer a little. Liang Jinxiao sighed with emotion. After hearing Liang Jinxiao's words, Zhao Yun-er could not help but sigh. Her cheap mother was a little too kind, wasn't she? She actually said that Zhao Wenshui, the thief who stole from her family, was wronged. Punishing him in such a way was already being polite to him. Mother, don't worry. Nothing big will happen. We just have to watch a good show. Yes. Liang Jinxiao nodded heavily. After eating with the third branch, Zhao Yun prepared some dishes and prepared to send them to Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng was not used to the food on the mountain. Anyway, she did not have much to do, so there was no harm in sending them. Chapter 1273. After all, he had been with young Master Huang for quite some time. He had never seen young Master Huang treat anyone like a friend. Mu Lianfeng guessed that Zhao Yun did not know young Master Huang's true identity. Otherwise, she would not have acted in such a manner. After all, with his high and mighty status, everyone would revere him. After Zhao Yun and young Master Huang chatted for a while, they returned to the topic of Zhao Yun's visit. Zhao Yun held the box of food in her hands as she explained to young Master Huang, "It's nothing much. I'm just here to deliver some food to the heir. I don't think he's used to the food on the mountain." It was mealtime and Mu Lianfeng was about to eat. Actually, it was not that he was not used to the food on the mountain. It was just that he liked Zhao Yun's cooking. Because of Zhao Yun's excellent cooking skills, the food tasted even better. Delivering food? Young Master Huang sighed. His envious gaze landed on Mu Lianfeng. He's really lucky to have such a woman by his side. That's right. Being stared at by young Master Huang, Mu Lianfeng had no choice but to reply. "It just so happens that I'm hungry. Can we eat together?" Young Master Huang wasn't shy at all. He asked shamelessly. But I only prepared food for one person." Zhao Yun paused for a moment before explaining. Young Master Huang hesitated for a moment and looked at Mu Lianfeng. He seemed to be asking for Mu Lianfeng's opinion. Mu Lianfeng's head started to hurt. What could he say? He could only say that. "You should eat." "I'll just eat a little." "How can that be? Why don't we eat together and each of us eat a little?" "You can eat." "I don't need it," Mu Lianfeng said. He knew in his heart that if young Master Huang was really that sincere, he would have let him eat alone. Why would young Master Huang ask him to eat together? If that's the case, then I won't hold back. Mu Lianfeng, since you're on the mountain, you'll have plenty of opportunities to eat. Young Master Huang's lips curled into a smile as if he was joking with Mu Lianfeng. Zhao Yun, who was standing at the side, couldn't help but want to scold young Master Huang for being so shameless. How could he be so shameless? At the very least, he should be polite and courteous. However, this person did not even bother to be courteous and acted as if it was only natural. Mu Lianfeng was also speechless, but he couldn't say anything in front of young Master Huang. After all, it was just some food. It wasn't a big deal. "Then you eat." Zhao Yun took the food box, and then took out the food from the food box. It was a simple stir-fry from a farmer's house, but it emitted a strong fragrance. After taking a whiff of the fragrance in the air, Mu Lianfeng felt his stomach growling. He began to regret saying that he wouldn't eat. Even a little bit would be good. Mo Yen glanced at the food and gulped down her saliva as well. She was extremely tempted by the fragrance of the food. It was a pity that she couldn't eat it. When she thought about how Mu Lianfeng couldn't even take a bite and could only watch from the side, Mo Yen felt much better. This stir-fried pork with celery isn't bad. It's delicious. Young Master Huang sighed as he ate. After tasting one dish, he tasted another. This scrambled egg with garlic is also excellent. Young Master Huang continued to praise. Chapter 1274. Zhao Yun brought a large bowl of soup, which young Master Huang poured into his stomach. After drinking, young Master Huang wiped the corner of his mouth as if he was reluctant to part with it. He could not help but mutter, "Delicious." Mo Yen and Mu Lianfeng were extremely displeased by young Master Huang's actions. Originally, the two of them were already hungry when it was time to eat. Putting aside the fact that they could only stand to the side and smell the food, young Master Huang still treated them like that. It was just too cruel. Mo Yen was tempted to rush up and snatch everything from young Master Huang's hands so that she could eat all by herself. "Huang! Mo Yan wanted to say something, but she realized that Zhao Yun was present. She gulped and said, "Young Master Huang, what you ate yesterday was actually made by Yun Really?" Young Master Huang raised an eyebrow. I was wondering why the taste was so familiar. It's delicious. Miss Yun, your cooking is the best I've ever seen. Zhao Yun smiled embarrassedly. That was a little too exaggerated. Her cooking was not bad, but it was not to the point where no one could compare to her. Perhaps young Master Huang had eaten too much of the best food on a daily basis. Now that he was eating her ordinary dishes, he felt that they were delicious. Young Master Huang is overpraising me. Zhao Yun replied modestly. No, I'm speaking the truth. When have I ever been too kind? Miss Yun is just too humble. The three of them watched young Master Huang eat alone in the room. Young Master Huang did not feel embarrassed at all, calmly finishing his meal. Zhao Yun cleaned up the dishes. Are you done eating? Zhao Yun asked politely. I'm done. Young Master Huang nodded in response. If it weren't for the fact that her stomach was too full, she would have stuffed a little more into her stomach. As long as you're done eating. After clearing the table, Zhao Yun prepared to go back. Young Master Huang's gaze was still on Zhao Yun. Suddenly, he joked with Mu Lianfeng, I think this girl is not bad. Mu Lianfeng was slightly taken aback. He was very nervous. He kept muttering, it's over, it's over, it's over now. Due to his nervousness, Mu Lianfeng did not reply to young Master Huang. Zhao Yun stepped forward and said to young Master Huang and Mu Lianfeng, Young Master Huang, Mu Lianfeng, I'll head back first. If you have anything to say, please continue. Both young Master Huang and Mu Lianfeng responded. Yun drive safe. Ladies Yun let's go. Zhao Yun smiled and went out of Mu Lianfeng's tent. When she left, Zhao Yun was also a bit worried. When she thought of what young Master Huang said to the black-clothed man that day, Zhao Yun was afraid that young Master Huang would do something to harm Mu Lianfeng. After Zhao Yun left, young Master Huang smiled at Mu Lianfeng and continued to speak to Mu Lianfeng, Mu Aiqing, why are you so nervous? Why do you look so pale? Why are you trembling? Could it be that I'm that scary? Being stared at by young Master Huang, by the Emperor's deep gaze, Mu Lianfeng became more and more nervous. A layer of cold sweat appeared on his palms. Mu Lianfeng said, Your Majesty, this subject wouldn't dare. Why wouldn't you dare? How could Your Majesty be scary? This subject is just feeling a bit uncomfortable. Mu Lianfeng explained nervously. The Emperor's lips curved slightly, actually, I don't know why you're so nervous. Is it because of Lady Yun? Chapter 1275. Mu Aiqing. Zhen heard that you and this Yun are in frequent contact. Could it be that you've fallen in love with her? It's not a big deal if you've fallen in love with her. After all, this Yun is really good. It's unexpected that there's such a woman in a small village. She's even more eye-opening than some noble ladies. Hearing the Emperor's praise and admiration for Zhao Yun, Mu Lianfeng increasingly felt that the Emperor had taken a fancy to Zhao Yun. It wouldn't matter if other people took a fancy to Zhao Yun, but the Emperor couldn't. After all, this man was the master of the world. As long as it was a woman he wanted, there was no woman he couldn't get. If the Emperor got Zhao Yun into the palace, what was the use of him being the heir of the Shitzi? In the end, he couldn't defeat the Emperor and had no way to compete with the Emperor for a woman. Your Majesty. This subject has a presumptuous request. Mu Lianfeng suddenly knelt in front of the Emperor and said to him. The Emperor raised his eyebrows and asked, Presumptuous request? What presumptuous request do you have? Mu Aiqing, don't be so polite. If you have any request, just say it. If Zhen thinks it's okay, Zhen will naturally agree. Mu Lianfeng frowned and thought for a while, Your Majesty. This subject thinks that Yun is very good. During these days in Shui Lan village, I got along with Miss Yun for a period of time. Their relationship is very good. 3 years ago, this subject accidentally had a child with Miss Yun'er. Mu Yanfeng told the emperor about his situation. It was nothing more than that he had feelings for Zhao Yun'er and had a child with her. In this life, he would only marry Zhao Yun'er. Since your relationship is like this, there's no harm in marrying Miss Yun'er. Hearing this, the emperor sighed with emotion. Your Majesty, this official wants to marry her and has been working hard for this matter. However, this official's status and hers are too far apart in the secular world. If we want to be together, I'm afraid it will be difficult. Previously, this official wanted to ask Your Majesty to grant a marriage. Mu Yanfeng introduced the recent events again. The steel on the mountain was developed by Zhao Yun'er, and all the credit went to Zhao Yun'er. In summary, the emperor only needed to first give Zhao Yun'er a status that could be seen in the secular world. In addition, he would also bestow a marriage between him and Zhao Yun'er. When the emperor heard that the steel was made by Zhao Yun'er, he couldn't help but sigh with emotion. After learning more about Zhao Yun'er, she was even more curious about what kind of woman Zhao Yun'er was. Compared to ordinary women, the difference was too big. Even a man would not be able to reach the level of Zhao Yun'er. Such a woman was too powerful. If she was a man, she might have done something earth-shattering. The great Zhou country needed this kind of talent. Hearing Mu Yanfeng's words, the emperor pondered in his heart. Betrothing Zhao Yun'er to Mu Yanfeng was a matter worth considering. A woman like Zhao Yun'er, after marrying a man, would definitely help him and achieve great things for him. So the man that Zhao Yun'er helped must be used by him and stand on the same side as him. If he didn't use him, then he would be giving himself a lot of pressure. When the time came, it would be very troublesome to deal with. The emperor didn't immediately reply to Mu Yanfeng's request and was silent for a while. Chapter 1276. Imperial Consort Hua acted on her own initiative and granted you a marriage. Zhen will talk about it later. As for your marriage with Miss Yun'er, the emperor paused in the middle of his words. Mu Yanfeng's heart was like ants on a hot pan. He was very anxious. However, he had to control himself and not show it too obviously. Your Majesty, this official will only marry Miss Yun'er in this life, so I hope to marry Miss Yun'er. This official can't ask anyone else, so I can only ask Your Majesty. Miss Yun'er is different from other girls. Although she is a young woman from the countryside, she is different from other women. This official doesn't care about those who are well matched in terms of social status. The emperor shouted, Mu Aiqing, let's talk about this later. You don't have to worry about your marriage with Miss Yun'er. I will arrange it in the future. Mu Yanfeng tactfully shut his mouth. He knew that if he said a few more words, he was afraid that he would make the emperor unhappy. After all, the emperor's meaning was very clear. He didn't want to grant him and Zhao Yun'er a marriage. The question that Mu Yanfeng was most concerned about was why the emperor did this. His request wasn't too excessive. He just wanted to be with Zhao Yun'er. The emperor couldn't even fulfill such a small request. Or did the emperor have some special feelings for Zhao Yun'er? The emperor glanced at Mu Yanfeng's reaction and knew that Mu Yanfeng had a lot on his mind. The corners of the emperor's mouth hooked up in an imperceptible smile, and his eyes seemed to be thinking more. Mu Aiqing, let's not talk about this. Let's talk about something else. The emperor smiled and said to Mu Yanfeng. Mu Yanfeng's mind was restless as he responded. He continued to chat with the emperor, but the emperor's words didn't reach his heart. After chatting with the emperor for a long time, Mu Yanfeng went back. When he returned to Zhao Yun'er's house, it was already evening. Zhao Yun'er was cooking at home. She didn't let Mu Yanfeng eat lunch, so she had to make some supplements for him in the evening. Zhao Yun'er thought that Mu Yanfeng would have to go to the capital tomorrow, so he probably wouldn't be able to eat the food she made these few days. When Mu Yanfeng returned, he smelled the aroma of food in the kitchen. His heart couldn't help but tremble as a different kind of emotion welled up in his heart. Yun'er. His Yun'er. He wondered if she was his. What if the emperor also stopped her? Wouldn't Zhao Yun'er stay by her side for the rest of her life without a proper name? Because of this matter, Mu Yanfeng didn't eat and didn't feel very hungry. Now that he smelled the aroma of the food, he suddenly felt hungry. Mu Yanfeng walked into the kitchen. Seeing Mu Yanfeng come back with a calm face, Zhao Yuner knew that Mu Yanfeng had some thoughts. So she asked Mu Yanfeng, what's wrong? Did something happen? Who is that young Master Huang? Zhao Yuner saw how Mu Yanfeng treated young Master Huang today. He was very respectful. Mu Yanfeng's status wasn't low. To be able to make Mu Yanfeng treat him like that, he definitely had a strong background. When asked about this, Mu Yanfeng felt that there wasn't much meaning in hiding it in front of Zhao Yuner, so he said, Yuner, that is the emperor, our great Zhou country's son of heaven. Hearing Mu Yanfeng say this, although Zhao Yuner was a little surprised, she wasn't too shocked. After all, she had guessed that young Master Huang might have this identity, but she ruled it out in the end. So what if he's the son of heaven? Could it be that he is picking on you? Zhao Yuner asked. Chapter 1277. Then why? Zhao Yuner asked. Our marriage has been discussed with His Majesty, but His Majesty did not agree to it, Mu Yanfeng explained. We were supposed to go to the capital tomorrow, but we don't have to anymore. Zhao Yuner's eyes twisted when she heard this. Why didn't His Majesty agree? Could it be that His Majesty had something against her and despised her for being a country bumpkin? Did he also think that she wasn't good enough for Mu Yanfeng, or did he have other considerations? Mu Yanfeng shook his head. I don't know. His Majesty's attitude is unpredictable. He didn't explicitly say no, but he didn't agree either. Zhao Yuner thought for a moment. Why don't I talk to him? She didn't know if it was her imagination, but why did she feel that His Majesty was easy to talk to? In front of her, His Majesty was approachable and treated her as a friend. Since they were friends, it shouldn't be a big deal for her to help out, right? Don't say any more, Yuner. I think even if you tell him, His Majesty's attitude will be similar. Let's just wait for now. Zhao Yuner sighed slightly. All right then. Mu Yanfeng, you don't have to worry. As long as our hearts are together, no one or anything can separate us. Mu Yanfeng responded solemnly. That night, at old Zhao's house, Liang Jinxiao discussed with Zhao Baoshan according to Zhao Yuner's instructions and then put the mousetrap in the kitchen. Under normal circumstances, no one would go to the kitchen in the middle of the night. The only ones who would go there were definitely thieves. In the middle of the night, old Zhao's family members were all asleep in the room and the courtyard was quiet. This was because Qian Chuanxiu had asked Zhao Wenshui to send some leftovers from the banquet over during the day. Zhao Wenshui didn't want to steal from Qian Chuanxiu, but he didn't want to refuse her. He was afraid that Qian Chuanxiu would look down on him and ignore him, so he agreed. In the middle of the night, after confirming that old Zhao's family members were all asleep, Zhao Wenshui tiptoed out of bed and ran to the kitchen. However, as soon as she entered and opened the cupboard door, she suddenly stepped on the mousetrap in front of the cupboard. Zhao Wenshui grimaced in pain as his ankle was firmly stuck. He let out a squeal like a pig. Zhao Wenshui's voice was very loud. By the time he reacted, it was already too late. The people in old Zhao's courtyard were woken up by Zhao Wenshui's voice and rushed out of the courtyard. Hua Chunhua came out in a floral coat. She frowned and asked, "What's wrong? What happened?" The people in the first branch followed her out. Feng Zhangxia replied, "I don't know, mother. We don't know what happened either. We came out when we heard the sound. Judging from the sound, it sounded like something big had happened." "What's wrong? Did I hear it wrong?" Hua Chunhua muttered. Zhao Wenshui replied, "Mother, you didn't hear it wrong. I heard it too. Otherwise, why would we all come out?" "Then what's wrong?" They screamed so miserably. "Did someone fall into the dung tank?" Hua Chunhua asked in confusion. After Hua Chunhua finished speaking, a trace of fear flashed through the eyes of old Zhao's family members. "Mother! It can't be." Chapter 1278. How disgusting would that be? If they scooped it up, the entire courtyard would probably be filled with the stench. Why wouldn't it be? Otherwise, where would the sound come from? It's fine if you were the only one who heard wrongly, but it can't be that everyone heard wrongly, right? Hu Chunhua replied angrily. Zhao Wenshi's mouth twitched, and he could only agree, Mother, if you put it that way, someone might have really fallen into the manure vat. After saying that, Zhao Wenshi still felt that something was amiss. Why would a scream mean that someone had definitely fallen into the manure vat? What if it was something else? Why did his mother always like to think of such disgusting things? That must be it. There's no one else in the courtyard. What else could have happened? Hu Chunhua grumbled. Then, Hu Chunhua instructed Zhao Wenshi, Boss, hurry up and go take a look at the manure vat. See if anyone fell in. It's still not too late to fish them out now. If we wait, it'll be too late. They'll drown. Zhao Wenshi looked at Hu Chunhua reluctantly and said to her, Mother, there's no need for that, why not? Hurry up and go. Hu Chunhua urged. Mother, why do I have to go? I don't want to go. Let fourth brother go take a look. Zhao Wenshi saw that Zhao Wentao had come out and quickly pushed the responsibility to him. Zhao Wentao's brows instantly knitted together. He had just come out and didn't understand what was going on. Why did he mention her out of the blue? Your fourth brother can't do it. His eyesight isn't good and he can't see at night. What if he accidentally falls into the manure vat later? Hu Chunhua replied unhappily. Seeing Zhao Wenshi's refusal, she was a little unhappy. Aren't you just going to run an errand? Why are you so hesitant? Zhao Wenshi looked at Hu Chunhua innocently. He wasn't hesitating. He didn't want to do it anymore. Who would go to the dung tank in the middle of the night to see if someone had fallen in? If there really was one, then he would have to go over and pull her up. The other party was covered in feces. If he defecated, wouldn't his entire body stink? Mother. My eyes aren't too good either. What if I fall too? Mother. You can't just be partial to fourth brother and not me. You're ordering me around for everything. Zhao Wenshi complained in dissatisfaction. Hu Chunhua glared at Zhao Wenshi angrily. You brat, you only know how to compare yourself with your fourth brother. I'm just showing you. What's the big deal? Your eyes are the best in our family. Do you think I'll believe you if you say they're not good? Unable to resist Hu Chunhua's nagging, Zhao Wenshi had no choice but to say, Fine, fine, fine. Mother, I'll go, okay? As Zhao Wenshi spoke, he walked in the direction of the dung tank. He kept praying in his heart that no one would fall in. Otherwise, he would be the one to suffer. When he reached the dung tank, he saw that it was empty. There was no one inside. Zhao Wenshi was delighted. He ran back to Hu Chunhua and said to Hu Chunhua, Mother, there's no one inside. There's no one in the dung tank. Hu Chunhua grunted in response and continued to frown. There's no one inside. Why is there no one inside? What's with that noise? It couldn't have made such a loud noise for no reason, right? I don't know, Mother. Maybe it's some cat or dog barking. Zhao Wenshi replied. Chapter 1279. Why not? Zhao Wenshi looked at Hu Chunhua in confusion. Can't you tell if it's a cat, a dog, or a human? Boss, I always said that your eyes are good, but it turns out that your ears are bad. Hu Chunhua said sarcastically. Zhao Wenshi felt that he had been wrongly accused again. He should have kept his mouth shut and not said anything. The more he said, the more mistakes he made. If he made Hu Chunhua unhappy, he would be scolded instead. Mom. I was just saying what if, it must be a human. Hu Chunhua muttered. She thought for a moment and said, could it be that a thief broke into our house? Thief? It can't be, right? A thief would definitely be careful. Why wouldn't he come to our house quietly and make such a loud noise? Isn't he deliberately trying to attract our attention? Feng Zhangxia said as she moved closer to Hu Chunhua. Hu Chunhua felt that it was possible. If it was a thief, why would he make such a loud noise? It sounded like a pig being slaughtered. In the countryside, if someone was caught stealing, the villagers would beat the thief to death. Then what's going on? Could it be that there's a ghost? Hu Chunhua had just finished speaking when a gust of cold wind blew in the courtyard. It gave everyone in the courtyard a layer of goosebumps and they couldn't help but shiver. Li Chuiying shrank back and quickly said, "Mom, what you said is scary. Could there really be a ghost?" The villagers were superstitious. Many of them believed that there were ghosts. Coupled with the gust of cold wind just now, the people in the courtyard felt a chill in their hearts. If there were really ghosts, wouldn't they be doomed? Don't talk nonsense. At this moment, Zhao Baoshan walked out and scolded everyone. If there were ghosts, why would they come to old Zhao's house? Old Zhao's house didn't offend anyone, nor did they do anything wrong. Why would ghosts come to their house? This was a taboo matter. Oh. Li Chuiying pursed his lips and replied. Hu Chunhua frowned and asked Zhao Baoshan, "Old man, can you tell me what that sound was? If you're not a ghost, why are you screaming so miserably?" Zhao Baoshan snorted. "You keep thinking about these things. I think something happened to our family." Everyone came out to see who exactly was missing. Then someone must have gotten into trouble. After listening to Zhao Baoshan's words, old Zhao's family felt that it made sense. They looked at each other and Li Chuiying said, "If you didn't mention it today, I wouldn't have known. How did my husband disappear? Second brother isn't here." "That's right, father. You weren't in the courtyard, and there was no one in the room." "Father, did something really happen to Tianyu's father?" "Ah, how can this be? Nothing can happen to Tianyu's father." Li Chuiying muttered worriedly. "Humph." Zhao Baoshan snorted. "He's not here. How could he not be here? Where did he go in the middle of the night? Don't tell me you've done something sneaky." Zhao Baoshan knew that the scream must have come from a thief who entered the kitchen and got caught in a rat trap. Since everyone was here except for Zhao Wenshui, it was obvious that the thief was Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Baoshan was infuriated. This second brother was really too much. Putting aside the fact that he had stolen his family's money the last time, this time, it wasn't enough to teach him a lesson. Now, he was stealing his family's food. If this went on, no matter how many things there were in the house, Zhao Wenshui would steal them all. Chapter 1280. Li Chuiying replied unhappily. Wasn't Zhao Baoshan implying that their Wenshui was a thief who stole things and did things like stealing chickens and dogs? No matter what Zhao Wenshui was, he was still her man. Li Chuiying knew that she should protect him. Otherwise, she would be embarrassed. "What are you talking about? What do you think I'm talking about? Did I say something wrong? It's the middle of the night. Where could second brother have gone? He's sneaking around. If he's not stealing things, then what is he doing?" Zhao Baoshan replied unhappily. "Well." Li Chuiying thought for a while. She was also puzzled. Where did her man go? What could he be doing out in the middle of the night instead of sleeping? "Dad, if the sound just now was second brother's, then he must still be in our house. Let's look around. What if something happened to second brother?" Zhao Wenshi quickly suggested. "Dad, big brother is right. Let's hurry and look for second brother. Don't let anything happen to him." Zhao Wentao quickly agreed. There was a trace of worry in his eyes. Li Chuiying became even more worried. Zhao Wenshui must not cause any trouble. Zhao Baoshan was silent for a while. "Okay, let's go look for him." They would definitely find Zhao Wenshui in the kitchen later. They would see how Zhao Wenshui would embarrass himself then. At this moment, Zhao Wenshui, who was hiding in the kitchen, was scared to death. If these people found him, they would know that he was the one who stole things from their house. His feet were already in pain from being caught in the rat trap. Now that he was nervous, his forehead was covered in cold sweat. He curled up on the ground and prayed that the people outside the yard would not find him. Old Zhao's family members looked around the yard but didn't find Zhao Wenshui. They went to Zhao Baoshan and said to Zhao Baoshan, "Father, he's not here. I can't find second younger brother." "That's right, father. Could it be that second brother ran outside? I haven't seen him at all. Have you looked in the kitchen?" Zhao Baoshan asked in a low voice. "I haven't." "Father, why are you looking in the kitchen? Why would second brother go to the kitchen for no reason?" Zhao Wentao asked, puzzled. "That's right, father. Second brother shouldn't be in the kitchen. It's the middle of the night. Who would go to the kitchen for no reason?" Zhao Wenshi agreed. Feng Zhangxia's eyes darted around. She caught Zhao Wentao and Zhao Wenshi's words and suddenly thought of something. She said excitedly, "Father, second brother went to the kitchen in the middle of the night for no reason. I think he went to steal leftovers." "Why did someone steal our leftovers?" "If second brother is in the kitchen now, then it must be him who stole it." Li Chuiying's face darkened when Feng Zhangxia finished speaking. He scolded Feng Zhangxia, "Sister-in-law, what are you talking about? How could Wen Shui be in the kitchen? Even if he was in the kitchen, how could you say that he stole the leftovers?" Feng Zhangxia snorted softly and said, "Second sister-in-law, are you stupid or do you take us for fools? Who would go to the kitchen in the middle of the night for no reason? He must be thinking of stealing the leftovers. Second brother is really capable. Last time, he stole money. This time, he stole leftovers. Our good things have all been ruined by him." Li Chuiying's face instantly darkened. He pointed at Feng Zhangxia angrily and said, "Sister-in-law, you." Chapter 1281. Hua Chunhua couldn't help but say, "Second brother's wife, why are you quibbling? If second brother is in the kitchen right now, he must be the thief who stole the leftovers." "That's right, mother. Otherwise, why would he enter the kitchen in the middle of the night? He must be up to no good while we're sleeping." Feng Zhangxia hurriedly fanned the flames. "What good could it be? Now I know. The next time we lose something in our house, it must be second brother who stole it. A leopard can't change its spots. I didn't learn my lesson last time. This time, I'll catch him and teach him a lesson. Let's see if he dares to do it again next time." Hua Chunhua was cursing and swearing. Spittle was flying from her mouth, which made people feel disgusted. Zhao Baoshan frowned and urged them, "That's enough. Why are you quarreling? Hurry up and go to the kitchen to see if second brother is in the room." Hearing Zhao Baoshan's words, Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wentao walked into the kitchen. They pushed open the kitchen door and saw Zhao Wenshui sitting on the ground. His ankle was tightly clamped by a mouse clamp. Moreover, his ankle was bleeding. It was very scary and the wound looked very deep. Last time, Zhao Xinhui had almost broken his ankle. Now, Zhao Wenshui was repeating the same mistake. "Father, second brother is in the kitchen," Zhao Wenshi shouted. After hearing Zhao Wenshi's voice, the other members of old Zhao's family hurried over and looked at Zhao Wenshui in the kitchen. "Ah, second brother is really in the kitchen. Second brother, what are you doing in the kitchen? Are you here to steal something? Did you steal our leftovers?" Feng Zhangxia hurriedly questioned and led the topic to that. "Yes, Lao Er, you better give me an explanation. Why did you come to my house?" Hua Chunhua asked angrily. "Steal? Steal what?" "Mother, I'm not here to steal," Zhao Wenshui said hurriedly. Naturally, he didn't want to admit his dirty behavior. How embarrassing would it be to accuse him of stealing in front of his family? "Second brother, then tell me, if you're not here to steal, why did you come to the kitchen?" Feng Zhangxia continued to ask. Zhao Wenshui hesitated, "Mom, I'm just here to get some water to drink." "Can't I drink water? I'm dying of thirst." Who knew that I would be caught by a rat trap as soon as I came in? After Zhao Wenshui finished speaking, Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua both frowned. They felt that what Zhao Wenshui said was not unreasonable. When she was thirsty, it was understandable to go to the kitchen to get some water to drink. However, they didn't know if Zhao Wenshui's words could be trusted. In their hearts, they still felt that Zhao Wenshui came in the middle of the night to steal something. After hearing Zhao Wenshui's explanation, Feng Zhangxia's eyes turned and looked into the kitchen, hoping to find some clues. Suddenly, she saw the cabinet open. Feng Zhangxia's eyes lit up and she said to Zhao Wenshui, "Second brother, you said you were here to drink water. Why did you open the cabinet? The water tank is over here. If you want to drink water, go to the tank." After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, old Zhao's family looked at Zhao Wenshui suspiciously. Chapter 1282. That's right. Second brother, you said you came in to drink water. How could it be possible that you came in to drink water? Why did you come to the cupboard to drink water and even open the cupboard door? Hu Chunhua asked Zhao Wenshui with a heavy gaze. Zhao Wenshui's heart suddenly tightened. When he met Hu Chunhua's questioning gaze, he was so nervous that he didn't know what to say. Mother. Zhao Baoshan snorted softly and said, "Do you still need to ask?" It's obvious that he came in to steal vegetables. That's right, father. Second brother obviously came in to steal vegetables. Father, we have to ask second brother to give an explanation. We can't just let it go like this. Feng Zhangxia muttered. If they made a fuss about this matter, they might be able to find an excuse to separate from the family. Zhao Wenshui sat on the ground with an aggrieved look on his face. All he did was steal vegetables. There were a lot of vegetables at home, so it wasn't a big deal. It was fine if his family caught him stealing, but the problem was that his feet were clamped and he couldn't move. It hurt so much. However, his family didn't care about his life at all. They only cared about him stealing vegetables. Why did I raise such a black-hearted son? This is too much. He steals everything. Not only does he steal things, but he also steals from his own family. It's hard to guard against a thief in the family. Why did such a big thief come into our family? If he doesn't give me an explanation today, I'll chop off his hand. Hu Chunhua said angrily as she spat on Zhao Wenshui's face. Zhao Wenshui reached out and touched Hu Chunhua's saliva on his face. He felt disgusted, but he didn't know how to scold Hu Chunhua. Mother, can you not be like this? Let's talk nicely. Why did you spit on my face? It's so disgusting. Zhao Wenshui complained unhappily. Hu Chunhua became even angrier. You still have the nerve to say that? You brat, I definitely haven't taught you enough. Hu Chunhua scolded. She waved her hand and slapped Zhao Wenshui hard a few times. Mother, it hurts so much. Zhao Wenshui cried out in pain. It was already painful enough. Now, after being hit by Hu Chunhua, it was even more painful. His feet hurt, and his body hurt. He felt like he was about to die. All right. Stop yelling. Let Lao Er explain himself. Why did he steal the vegetables? Zhao Baoshan frowned and said seriously to Zhao Wenshui. Zhao Wenshui shrunk his neck, not knowing what to say. If he told the truth and said that he stole for Qian Chuanxiu, he would be scolded to death by his family. Most importantly, if Li Chuiying found out, she would definitely make a fuss. He wouldn't be able to deal with it. If the villagers found out about his relationship with Qian Chuanxiu, they would probably drown him in their saliva. Father. Zhao Wenshui hesitated. His words were stuck in his throat. He didn't know how to say it. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you talking? Father. I just want to eat more. It's nothing. I woke up in the middle of the night and suddenly felt hungry, so I ran to the kitchen to find something to eat. Can't I eat my own food? How did I become a thief? After Zhao Wenxue finished speaking, Hu Chunhua looked at Zhao Wenxue with disappointment. I say, Lao Air, you're really good. Chapter 1283. After being reprimanded by Hu Chunhua, Zhao Wenxue blushed. Mother, don't you think I'm being too serious? I'm a man. It's normal for me to eat more when I work during the day. I'm indeed hungry at this time of the night. I'm not a woman. I can't do so much heavy work every day. I don't feel hungry. Zhao Wenxue pursed his lips and quibbled. Hu Chunhua snorted coldly. You're good at quibbling. I don't usually see you doing much work. Now you're talking about how much work you've done. Mother, Feng Zhangxia didn't mind blowing things up and added, Mother, how can second brother be like this? Who isn't hungry in the middle of the night? Aren't we all enduring it? Only second brother ran out to the kitchen to get something to eat. If everyone in our family is like this, we'll be able to finish all the food. When Hu Chunhua heard Feng Zhangxia's words, she loudly reprimanded, That's right. If there's some leftovers, they can eat them sparingly. They can still eat for a few more days. This black-hearted second brother secretly ate so much. Isn't he afraid of dying from overeating? If everyone secretly eats like this, how can our family eat? Hu Chunhua's face was cold. The more she looked at Zhao Wenxue, the angrier she became. Even Zhao Wentao, who didn't speak much, couldn't help but say, Second brother, if you're hungry in the middle of the night, go back to sleep. Just endure it. How can you get up in the middle of the night and eat so much? When Li Chuiying saw that her man was being bombarded, she stepped forward to defend Zhao Wenxue. You can't say that, right? My Wenxue is hungry. Why can't he eat something? It's not a big deal. If he's full at night, he can eat less during the day, right? Otherwise, if he's hungry, he'll have to eat more during the day. It's about the same. Second sister-in-law really knows how to protect second brother. Feng Zhangxia said in a strange tone. Hu Chunhua was not so polite. She scolded Li Chuiying, My second daughter-in-law is so full of nonsense. If everyone in our family is like this, how can we live like this? Father, mother, second brother's behavior is too serious. You have to make a statement and deal with it properly. Otherwise, it will be too unfair to the other branches. Last time, second brother had already stolen 3 taels of silver, and now he was here to steal food. I wonder how many of these things have been done behind the scenes. We can't let second brother take all the benefits of our family, can we? After Feng Zhangxia finished speaking, all the members of old Zhao's family became silent. When Feng Zhangxia saw that Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua did not say anything, she hurriedly poked Zhao Wenxue, asking him to say a few words as well. In any case, this matter could not be let go so easily. That's right, father, mother. Second brother has done this, so he has to say something. We can't let the other branches suffer losses. Otherwise, everyone will feel uncomfortable. Zhao Baoshan frowned and asked the first branch, Then tell me, what should we do about this matter? Feng Zhangxia hesitated for a moment. After thinking about it, she decided to say it directly, Father, mother, I think it's not interesting for us to live together like this. We've all formed our own families and our children have grown up. There's no need for us to live together. Chapter 1284. Feng Zhangxia felt that there was nothing to offend now. If she didn't seize this opportunity to separate, she didn't know when she would be able to do so. Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua's faces darkened when they heard Feng Zhangxia's words. Eldest daughter-in-law, what are you talking about? Separate? Your father and I are still here, and all we can think about is to separate. If this gets out, won't our old Zhao family die of laughter? Hu Chunhua scolded unhappily. Mother, you can't say that. If it wasn't for the fact that second brother often did these kinds of sneaky things, who would want to separate from the family? If you want to blame someone, you have to blame second brother. Originally, our family was living in harmony. Now that he's stirring things up, we can't live together. It's better to separate and save us so much trouble. Feng Zhangxia defended herself. After she finished speaking, she nudged Zhao Wenshi beside her, asking Zhao Wenshi to speak up for her. Father, mother, Tianlong's mother is right. We have our own families now. There are many people in the village who want to separate early. Second brother doesn't usually do much work, and he keeps stealing things from our family. It's impossible that I don't have any objections. If we live together, there will be a lot of conflicts. No matter what second brother does, it has nothing to do with us. Naturally, we don't have any objections. Hu Chunhua frowned when she heard Zhao Wenshui's words. She didn't say anything, but she was brewing in her heart. In the end, it was all because of this good-for-nothing second brother. Otherwise, the eldest branch wouldn't have a reason to criticize them. Li Chuiying snorted softly and said to Hu Chunhua, Father, mother, if eldest brother and sister-in-law want to separate and don't want to live with us, we don't want to live with them either. Seriously. Didn't they just steal some money? How much are these things worth when added together? What about the eldest branch? You're getting married and studying. Our old Zhao family has been doing everything for you and your branch all these years. How can I say that I have a problem with that? Hearing Li Chuiying's words, the first branch was furious. Second sister-in-law, what are you talking about? The money my family spends is for proper use. Look at second brother, what he does is not proper. How can it be the same? How is it different? Wasn't it all about money? Eldest sister-in-law, you're really interesting. You're still pretending to be innocent after you've taken advantage of her. In the past, you didn't want to split up. Now that your family is doing well, you're clamoring to split up. Isn't this bullying? After Li Chuiying finished speaking, Feng Zhangxia's face immediately turned red. Sister-in-law, you, Li Chuiying also crossed his arms and continued to scold, Sister-in-law, it's not that we can't split the family assets, but at least be fair. Our old Zhao family has contributed a lot to your branch. When we split from the family, shouldn't our second and fourth branches get more? Why should you get more? It's already good enough that our fourth branch gets more. How can your second branch have the nerve to ask for more? Didn't you say that second brother stole things? That won't do. Our second branch can get less than our fourth branch, but we can get more than your eldest branch. You, Zhao Baoshan frowned as she watched the two branches quarrel. She was somewhat unhappy. As an elder, she naturally felt sad that her family had ended up like this. Chapter 1285. Li Chuiying said hurriedly, Father, you can't be partial. Eldest brother and eldest sister-in-law's family have benefited a lot over the years. You can't let them benefit even if we split up now, right? Otherwise, our second branch can't live on. Feng Zhangxia didn't want to be left behind. She said in front of Zhao Baoshan, Father, second brother did something sneaky. You can't give the second branch too much. Although our first branch has spent a lot of money, it's for the honor of old Zhao's family, not for anything else. Although Sky Dragon studies cost a little more, but when he passes the imperial examinations, he will be able to bring honor to his ancestors. Shut up. I know how to distribute it. Do I need you to tell me? Zhao Baoshan reprimanded. Feng Zhangxia and Li Chuiying didn't know what to say, so they shut up. Zhao Baoshan thought for a while. What the first branch and the second branch said was reasonable. Therefore, when it came to splitting up, the two branches should give about the same amount. The fourth branch was the most important. The fourth branch could get more. Zhao Baoshan counted the fields in the house. The fields that each branch got were about the same. Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua kept some fields for themselves. As for money, the fourth branch got more, so the first branch and the second branch got the same amount. Although the first branch and the second branch had different opinions about the distribution, they agreed in the end for the sake of splitting up. It didn't matter how much they got now. The most important thing was to divide up the family. Hu Chunhua was the one who was most dissatisfied with the separation. If the whole family was together, the amount of money they earned would have to be handed over to her. Now that they were splitting up, the money in the other branch's hands would be in their own hands. They wouldn't give it to her. Thinking of this, Hu Chunhua felt sad. Old man, can't we not split up? Why do we have to split up? Really? Hu Chunhua said to Zhao Baoshan. She was unhappy. Then what do you think we should do? How should he deal with today's matter? If people's hearts are not together, it's useless to force them to be together. That's not it either. I think that if we split up, old Zhao's life will be even more difficult. We still don't know if these children are filial or not. If they aren't filial, no one will take care of us when we're old. Hu Chunhua curled her lips and muttered to Zhao Baoshan. Zhao Baoshan glared at Hu Chunhua. You think too much. We'll talk about the future when the time comes. They can do whatever they want. Let them be. Hu Chunhua saw that Zhao Baoshan was unhappy. It seemed that she did not want to dwell on this topic, so she quickly shut her mouth. Otherwise, Zhao Benshan would scold her. After struggling for half a night, the separation of old Zhao's family was finally settled. The other branches were satisfied with this result. Although the fourth branch did not say that they wanted to split up, they still had this thought in their hearts. After all, the fourth branch was at a disadvantage in old Zhao's family. They did more work than the other branches, so they didn't get many benefits. After the separation, everyone found that Zhao Wenshui, whose ankle was pinched, had fainted from the pain. Li Chuiying rushed to Zhao Wenshui and said to Zhao Wenshui, Tianyu's father, what's wrong with you? Are you okay? Why aren't you talking? Chapter 1286. Li Chuiying's heart tightened, and she hurriedly said, Father, it might be true. Tianyu's father must have fainted from the pain. What should we do? Nothing must happen to Tianyu's father. Zhao Baoshan's brows were still furrowed. He deserves it even if he dies from the pain. Who told him to come to the kitchen in the middle of the night to steal things? The rat trap was placed there on purpose to catch the thief. Li Chuiying looked at Zhao Baoshan with hidden bitterness. Father, you can't say that. Tianyu's father shouldn't have eaten our family's food. Tianyu's father's leg is more important. Otherwise, it would be bad if he became a cripple in the future. Zhao Baoshan snorted softly, and instructed Zhao Wenshi and Zhao Wentao, send second brother to the second branch's room first. We'll find a doctor to take a look at him tomorrow. Li Chuiying's heart ached at the thought of having to spend money to find a doctor. Now that they had separated from the family, they could not spend old Zhao's money. They could only spend the second branch's money. This time, Zhao Wenshui's medical expenses would probably be at least half of it. Fortunately, Zhao Jing was about to get married. When the time came, they could make up for the dowry money. Otherwise, they would not be able to live on. The third branch, who had been silent all this time, finally spoke up. Liang Jinxia walked up to Hu Chunhua and said to her, Mother, now that the matter has been clarified, it's fine. Our third branch won't steal anything. In the future, don't blame us for anything. Otherwise, if we don't find evidence, we won't be able to clear our name. Hu Chunhua was a little embarrassed, but she could not admit her mistake. She could only force a smile and say, who knew that second brother would never change and would steal things from his family again? Otherwise, he wouldn't have blamed the third branch. Mother, I don't mean anything else. I just hope that if anything happens in the future, we'll figure it out first. Otherwise, it'll be easy for us to take the blame for others. It's the same for everyone. Hu Chunhua replied impatiently, I know. Third daughter-in-law, you should go back to your room and rest. What's the point of saying so much? Well, Mother, then I'll go back to my room to rest first. Liang Jinxia was also too lazy to say more and walked into the room of the third branch. Hu Chunhua had already made herself clear. It was fine as long as she understood it in her heart. Thinking about what happened tonight, Liang Jinxia could not help but admire Zhao Yun'er. If it weren't for Zhao Yun'er, she probably wouldn't have caught Zhao Wenshui stealing tonight. She would probably still be suspected. However, what they didn't expect was that old Zhao's family would split up. Just thinking about it made him feel a little incredulous. Both Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua had reacted strongly to the idea of splitting the family assets on the premise that they would never agree to it. How could they agree to it so easily? She wondered if it was because the third branch had already been separated from the main branch. The next day, Liang Jinxiao told Zhao Yuner about what happened that night. Zhao Yuner was also a little shocked. If they were talking about splitting up, it was good that they did it. The fourth branch couldn't take advantage of living together with the first and second branches. Her fifth uncle, Zhao Wensheng, spoke too early. He said that they wouldn't get anything if they split up. This time, old Zhao's family really didn't give the fifth branch anything. Otherwise, the fifth branch could also get a lot of things. When Zhao Yuner arrived at old Zhao's house, the people of old Zhao's family were moving things. After distributing the things, they moved back to their rooms. Chapter 1287. When Zhao Yuner saw this, she stepped forward and asked, "Fourth uncle, do you want me to help you?" "No need." Zhao Wentao smiled and refused. "Actually, there's nothing else to do. It's almost done. The things that should be moved have already been moved. There's nothing else to move. It's just some small things that are easy to carry." Zhao Yuner didn't know if Zhao Wentao was declining or if he really meant it. Zhao Yuner was too embarrassed to insist, so she could only say, "All right then, fourth uncle. If you're tired, you can rest for a while. Don't tire yourself out." Seeing that Zhao Yuner was concerned about him, he felt touched. "Got it, Yuner. Don't worry. Fourth uncle knows whether he's tired or not." That's fine." Zhao Yun nodded. At this time, Li Chuiying, who was moving things in the courtyard, heard the conversation between Zhao Yuner and Zhao Wentao. She hurriedly said to Zhao Yuner, "Girl Yuner, if you're so filial, then help your second aunt move some things. Your second uncle's foot was injured by a mousetrap. He can't even walk now. How can your second aunt move so many things by herself?" Zhao Yuner laughed coldly and stared at Li Chuiying. She didn't know how Li Chuiying had the nerve to say such a thing. "Second aunt, why do you want me to help? It's not like there's no one in your house. What can't you move? You and cousin Jing can work together and take it slow. If you can't move it in one go, then you can do it a few more times." After Zhao Yuner finished speaking, Li Chuiying's expression instantly became very ugly. This wretched girl only cared about the fourth branch and didn't like the second branch. Speaking of which, weren't they all this girl's elders? Why should she treat them differently? She was too much. Li Chuiying said sarcastically, "What a stingy person. I've never seen such a person before. Wretched girl, you're so picky. It seems like you don't care about your second uncle and second aunt." Seeing that Li Chuiying was about to make a scene, Zhao Wentao was afraid that Li Chuiying and Zhao Yun would argue, so he said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, don't let Yun help you. It's fine. If there's anything you can't move, call me and I'll help you move it." Li Chuiying's expression returned to normal. She smiled at Zhao Wentao and said, "Hee, fourth brother, you are still the best. It's my duty, second sister-in-law. Second brother's foot is injured, so there's no other way. He'll probably be busy at home these days, so please bear with him as much as you can. There's no need to be so calculative." Hearing Zhao Wentao's words, Li Chuiying chuckled and replied, Yes. Fourth brother, your words are so nice. It would be great if everyone in our family could be like you." Zhao Yuner stood to the side. Seeing Li Chuiying, she couldn't help but roll her eyes. Her fourth uncle was really a good person. However, Zhao Wentao treated all his brothers like this. Zhao Yuner didn't have much to say. She only hoped that Zhao Wentao would be more considerate sometimes. Otherwise, if he was too nice, he would be bullied. Li Chuiying stared at Zhao Wentao and thought for a while. Then, he said to Zhao Wentao, "Fourth brother, now that our family is separated, the other branches don't have a kitchen. We have to build a shed for our own kitchen. If you have nothing to do, when you build a wooden shed for your own family, you can build one for my family." Chapter 1288. Since Li Chuiying had already spoken, Zhao Wentao couldn't say no. It was true that his second brother's leg was injured and it was inconvenient for him. Every man in the second branch had to rely on 2 women and 1 child. What could they do? Just as Zhao Wentao was about to nod and agree, Zhao Yun couldn't help but say, "Second aunt, you really choose honest people when you want to take advantage of others. It's already good enough that fifth uncle helped you move things, but you still want him to help you build a shed. How can you ask for that?" After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Li Chuiying glared at Zhao Yun with a reddened face and said, "Last Yun, your mouth is really cheap. Your fourth uncle didn't say anything. What did you say?" Zhao Yun pursed her lips and said, "I just can't stand it. Fourth uncle is an honest person. He can't be bullied too much by you." After Zhao Yun finished speaking, she winked at Zhao Wentao. Originally, Zhao Wentao was embarrassed to refuse. However, after hearing Zhao Yun's words, Zhao Wentao said to Li Chuiying, "Second sister-in-law, why don't you and mother use the same kitchen first? When second brother's leg recovers, we can ask him to build a wooden shed." Li Chuiying was immediately unhappy. She frowned and said with difficulty, "This fourth brother, you know that your second brother can't do it, why can't he do it? Your second brother is clumsy. How can he do it well? I don't think he can build a wooden shed. Second sister-in-law, it's okay if he can't build it. When the time comes, if second brother has any problems, just ask me. I will tell second brother. If he can't do it, I will help second brother and follow behind to help. He will definitely be able to do it." After hearing Zhao Wentao's words, Li Chuiying was too embarrassed to say anything more. She could only say, "Ah. Okay then, fourth brother. You said it. When we build a wooden shed, you have to help. Don't worry, second sister-in-law. I definitely will." "Okay." Li Chuiying agreed reluctantly. Before she left, she glared fiercely at Zhao Yun, as if she was blaming Zhao Yun for meddling in other people's business. It was originally fine, but it was ruined by Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun curled her lips, and a smile appeared on the corner of her mouth. She was too lazy to pay attention to Li Chuiying. Ah. After Li turned to leave, Zhao Wentao's, Zhao Yun's, Zhao's, Zhao, Zhao Yun, saw Zhao Wentao sighing and asked, "Fourth uncle, why are you sighing?" Zhao Wentao twitched his mouth and smiled at Zhao Yun. Actually, your second aunt is also a pitiful person. She is she? Uncles to S is Yun's, TSSSS, Y, to her to TS, your second uncle. Zhao Wentao suddenly stopped talking. He felt that it wasn't appropriate to mention this in front of Zhao Yun, so he gave up and didn't say anything else. Zhao Yun was a little anxious. What's wrong with fourth uncle? Nothing. Yun, you're still young. There are some things you don't understand. Your second uncle doesn't treat your second aunt very well. As for the rest of us, we should help your second aunt as much as we can to make up for it. After Zhao Wentao said this, he didn't seem to want to talk about it anymore and changed the topic. Zhao Yun found it even more strange. Zhao Wentao obviously had a hidden meaning in his words, but he didn't say it out loud. It really made her anxious. Chapter 1289. As the saying goes, paper can't wrap fire. Someone will find out the truth one day. When Zhao Wenxue secretly went to see Qian Chuanxiu, Zhao Wentao happened to see him. Zhao Wentao knew that it was a shameful thing, so he couldn't tell others. If he told others, it would not only embarrass old Zhao's family, but also embarrass Zhao Wenxue. People in the village might gossip and ruin the reputation of old Zhao's family. In addition, he was afraid that Li Chuiying would be so angry that he would fight with Zhao Wenshui. At that time, old Zhao's family might be in trouble. For the sake of the harmony of old Zhao's family, this matter had to be kept a secret. Li Chuiying couldn't know about it. However, because Zhao Wentao knew that Zhao Wenshui had an affair with another woman, he felt that Zhao Wenshui had wronged Li Chuiying and felt guilty towards Li Chuiying. Zhao Wenshui couldn't treat Li Chuiying well. As his younger brother, he naturally had to make up for it. Fourth uncle, now that we've separated from the family, what do you and sister-in-law plan to do? Zhao Yun asked. Speaking of this, Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao really hadn't thought about it. Zhao Wentao still went to the mountains to mine from time to time. Although he couldn't make a lot of money, he could at least make his family hungry. In addition, after they separated from the family, they were given some fields. These fields could be used to grow food and they could also gain some harvest. As long as they were diligent, their lives might be better than when they didn't separate from the family. How can we plan to do anything? Just like everyone else, we'll live our lives as we should. Zhao Yun smiled and said, Fourth uncle, now that we have separated from the family, do you and fourth sister-in-law plan to let cousin Tianqi go to school? Like cousin Tianlong, he will be able to pass the imperial examinations and become outstanding? Zhao Tianqi, who Zhao Yun mentioned, was Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao's son. He was 7 years old this year, 1 year younger than Zhao Tianfu. She was at the right age to go to school. In the past, even if Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao wanted to study for Zhao Tianqi, they probably wouldn't be able to. After all, other than Zhao Tianqi, old Zhao's family had a lot of descendants. All of them were studying and there was no money to support them. If he read it to one of them, the other descendants would definitely read it as well. Otherwise, it would be unfair and make them feel uncomfortable. Hearing Zhao Yun's words, Zhao Wentao was slightly taken aback. In the past, he didn't dare to think about this. After all, he felt that it was impossible. Although in his heart, he felt that studying was good. Children would only have the opportunity to bring glory to their ancestors if they studied. However, the conditions were there. It was not as if they could study just because they wanted to. Fourth uncle, I think it's better for the child to study more. Why don't you discuss it with fourth aunt and see if Tianqi can study? Zhao Yun couldn't help but suggest. If it was the 21st century, most children would be able to read and write. If they studied, they might not become illiterate, but at least they would be more cultured. Zhao Yun couldn't stand the weirdos in the village. With quality education, it would be much better. What Zhao Yun said was not only about the matter of scholarly honors. Zhao Wentao thought for a moment. Hey, Yun, I also want to study for Tianqi, but it costs a lot to study for a year. Fourth uncle is not capable and may not be able to afford it. Chapter 1290. After hearing Zhao Yun's words, Zhao Wentao couldn't help but be curious. Yun'er, what kind of work will your family have to do in the future? Will it be for a while? Or can it continue for a long time? Zhao Wentao was mainly worried about this. He was now mining iron on the mountain and could earn dozens of copper coins a day. In a month, he could earn more than 1 tael of silver. Of course, this was taking into account. After all, he didn't have work to do every day. In addition, he didn't know how long he could mine. It might be half a year or a year. If he could earn money to support Zhao Tianqi's studies in this half a year or a year, where would he earn the money in the future? Therefore, he had to make money for a long time. It was not a matter of half a year or a year. It had to be stable for at least 5 to 6 years or 7 to 8 years. Zhao Yun'er smiled. Don't worry, fourth uncle. My family's work can be done for a long time. I guarantee that you can earn enough for cousin Tianqi's tuition in a year. With Zhao Yun'er's words, Zhao Wentao was indeed relieved. He might not believe what others said, but he believed what Zhao Yun said. After all, Zhao Yun had never talked nonsense. If she said 1, it was 1. If she said 2, it was 2. Yun'er, can you tell me what kind of work your family is going to do? Ah, it takes so much time. Zhao Yun'er explained. Zhao Wentao still didn't understand half of it, but he had a general understanding. With a stable income, Zhao Wentao thought that it was indeed good to teach Xiao Tianqi. He didn't expect Xiao Tianqi to be like Xiao Tianlong. He only wanted Xiao Tianqi to be like Xiao Wensheng in the future. It was always easier to teach than to work in the fields. Furthermore, scholars were respected by the masses. He suffered because he didn't study. His son couldn't follow in his footsteps. After chatting with Zhao Wentao for a while, Zhao Wentao had almost moved everything that needed to be moved. After old Zhao's family split, many things had to be redistributed. It didn't seem much, but it was a little difficult to move them. After working for the whole morning, they were finally done. From today onwards, old Zhao's family would live their own lives. There was only one kitchen in old Zhao's house. Now that they had separated, the original kitchen was reserved for Zhao Baoshan and Hu Chunhua. Before the other families finished building their own kitchens, they could borrow them for a while, but after a while, they wouldn't be allowed to use them anymore. Now that they were eating separately, cooking was the most troublesome thing. There was only one pot, so everyone had to line up to cook it. They couldn't squeeze together. Eldest sister-in-law, let me come down and cook. Our Wenshui and Tianyu are both hungry. The sooner it's cooked, the sooner we can give it to them to eat. You wait first. When my family is ready, you can use it. Li Chuiying went to the kitchen and saw that Feng Zhangxia wanted to start a fire to cook. She quickly stopped her. Feng Zhangxia was a little unhappy. She retorted to Li Chuiying, why should I let your family cook first? Our Yang Yang is hungry too. He's still a child, so his stomach can't take it. When he's hungry, he has to eat. Your Tianyu is already grown up. Second brother is really a grown-up. It's okay to bear with it, so let our family cook first and eat first. You. Li Chuiying glared at Feng Zhangxia angrily. He couldn't win an argument with his sister-in-law and was always bullied. In the past, Hu Chunhua was biased towards Feng Zhangxia. Now that they had separated, Li Chuiying felt that he shouldn't give in to Feng Zhangxia anymore. Chapter 1291. Li Chuiying looked at Feng Zhangxia unhappily. Feng Zhangxia frowned and argued with Li Chuiying. Who said that you can cook when the dishes are ready? I came to the kitchen first, so I have to cook first. Sister-in-law, how can you bully us like this? Why should the second branch give in to the first branch? Today, the second branch has to cook first. That won't do. Second sister-in-law, I can't give in to you. You can't spoil my Yang Yang. Can you bear the responsibility for my precious grandson? Li Chuiying put her hands on her hips and was infuriated by Feng Zhangxia. Humph, you call your Yang Yang darling. So what if my Tianyu is hungry? You're so selfish. The two of them went back and forth and almost started a fight in the kitchen. Hu Chunhua heard the quarrel in the room and rushed in angrily. Quarrel, 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 all you know how to do is quarrel. Quarreling every day when there's something going on. Hurry up and shut up, or else my wife will take a needle and sew up your mouths one by one. Hu Chunhua's fierce tone and eyes frightened Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia. Mother. I didn't want to quarrel, but sister-in-law insisted on occupying the pot to cook first. Look, I've already prepared the dishes, so I'll definitely cook faster than her. What's wrong with letting me cook first? Li Chuiying complained in front of Hu Chunhua, feeling wronged. Feng Zhangxia was unwilling to be left behind. Mother, my Yang Yang is hungry. What's wrong with me cooking first? Tianyu is a big boy and can withstand hunger, but Yang Yang is still young and can't withstand hunger. Mother, Hu Chunhua was confused by Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia's quarrel. Shut up, both of you shut up. You can even quarrel over cooking. I really admire the two of you. Every day, you talk about trivial matters. Aren't you afraid of embarrassing yourself if word gets out? There's only one kitchen, and I'm the one who cooks first. Since when did it become your turn? In a few days, all of you will have to make your own kitchen. Don't squeeze together. It's inconvenient. When I'm done today, the first branch will use it first, and the second branch will use it later. Tomorrow, it'll be your turn. You can have one day first. Since Hu Chunhua said so, Li Chuiying and Feng Zhangxia couldn't say anything more. Taking turns like this was considered very fair. If they said anything else, Hu Chunhua would probably scold them again. Mother. All right then. Then my sister-in-law will go first. My family will go first tomorrow. Li Chuiying replied. Hu Chunhua responded faintly. Then, she began to cook. Liang Jinxiao heard the noise in the kitchen of Old Xiao's house. Old Xiao's family members were taking turns. The fourth branch was the last to eat today. If they wanted to eat, they didn't know how long they would have to wait. Thus, Liang Jinxiao discussed with Xiao Yun, Yun, let's cook 2 more dishes. Today, we can ask your fourth uncle and fourth aunt to come over to eat together so that they don't have to wait in line to cook. Tomorrow or the day after, they can build their own kitchen so that they don't have to squeeze into one kitchen to cook. Xiao Yun, naturally, had no objections. She nodded and said, Okay, mother. Let fourth uncle and the others come over to eat. Go and tell them so that they don't have to cook by themselves. Okay, mother will go now. Liang Jinxiao said and went to find Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao. At first, Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao were embarrassed, but they couldn't resist Liang Jinxiao's enthusiasm and had to agree. Chapter 1292. Liang Jinxiao smiled and said, It's no trouble at all. Just ask Yuner to cook a few more dishes. It's not like we eat every day, so it doesn't matter if we eat 1 or 2 meals. Third sister-in-law, will still have to trouble you. Ha, fourth brother, fourth sister-in-law, you're too polite. It'll be more convenient when your own kitchen is ready. It's not convenient to have one kitchen to cook now. Yes, yes. Third sister-in-law, you're right. We'll be busy building the wooden shed in the afternoon. Tomorrow, we'll go to the blacksmith to custom make a pot. The kitchen will be ready in less than 2 days. That's good. Liang Jinxiao laughed heartily. Li Chuiying felt a little uncomfortable when she saw that Liang Jinxiao invited the fourth branch to eat but not the second branch. Without feeling embarrassed, Li Chuiying went directly to Liang Jinxiao and said to Liang Jinxiao, Third sister-in-law, since it's not troublesome for your family, why don't you let the second branch eat with you? Anyway, it's just a matter of adding a few more pairs of chopsticks. You invited fourth brother and fourth sister-in-law, but you can't not invite me and your second brother, right? Liang Jinxiao's mouth twitched, and he didn't know how to refuse. When Zhao Yuner heard Li Chuiying's words, she came out of the kitchen and said with a fake smile, Second aunt, you really know how to compare yourself with others. When fourth uncle and fourth aunt help us with the chores, why don't I see you and second uncle coming over to help? You don't know how to do the chores, but you know how to come over to eat. How interesting. Li Chuiying immediately cowered when she saw Zhao Yuner. She argued back, Your family didn't ask my family to do the chores. If you asked, we might have helped. Zhao Yuner sneered. She really didn't know how to deal with thick-skinned people. Second aunt, why don't you know how to do the chores if we don't ask you to? You know how to come over when we don't ask you to eat. This ability is really great. You. Li Chuiying angrily glared at Zhao Yuner, third sister-in-law, look at your good daughter. How is she speaking to her elders? Liang Jinxiao said helplessly, second sister-in-law, I don't think there's anything wrong with what Yuner said. It's true, you. Li Chuiying was angered by Zhao Yuner and Liang Jinxiao. Originally, he wanted Liang Jinxiao to apologize to her, but his third sister-in-law had changed a lot. She didn't follow his words at all. If you don't want to eat, so be it. Just you wait. Just wait until my family has delicious food. I'll make you guys drool. After Li Chuiying finished speaking, he angrily turned around and left. Zhao Yuner was even more disinclined to pay attention to people like Li Chuiying. It was good to send him away. It was really annoying to hang around in front of him. Fourth uncle, fourth aunt, please go inside and have a seat. I'll cook 2 more dishes. It'll be ready in a while. Zhao Yun'er said. Zhao Wentao and Qian Hongzhao both responded, okay, Yun'er girl. Thank you for your hard work. With that, the 2 of them didn't stand on ceremony and went into the 3rd branch's room. In old Zhao's kitchen, only Hu Chunhua and Zhao Baoshan were eating because they had separated from the main family. Hu Chunhua casually cooked 2 dishes. If she cooked too many dishes, she wouldn't be able to finish them all. Now that the whole family wasn't eating together, Hu Chunhua was very generous. She took out all the good things in the room and fried a plate of bacon and a plate of vegetables. Chapter 1293. Previously, he was reluctant to eat it because 20 caddies of bacon was not much. Good things should be eaten slowly. He could not finish it all at once. Moreover, he could save some dishes for the banquet, so there was no need to cook it. After eating for a few days, the leftovers were almost finished. Hu Chunhua left some meat for lunch, and the rest of the vegetables were distributed to the other members of her family. Now, he was going to make some salted meat so that he could have a taste. Since they weren't a big family, they didn't need to fight for food. Especially without Zhao Wenshui, if they hadn't split up, Zhao Wenshui would have been able to eat half of it. Now that she made a plate of bacon, she and Zhao Baoshan could eat it slowly. A plate of bacon could last them for 3 days. Zhao Baoshan needed a side dish to go with drinking, and the bacon was just right. After Hu Chunhua heated up the leftover meat broth from the banquet, the entire kitchen was filled with a strong aroma. The most fragrant of all was the salted meat, which had a very strong aroma. The members of Zhao Baoshan's family, who were waiting outside the kitchen, couldn't help but swallow their saliva. Zhao Yangyang said to Feng Zhangxia, Grandma, it smells so good. Yangyang wants to eat it. Feng Zhangxia frowned. Yangyang, wait a little longer. Grandma will cook for you later. Mother, Yangyang is eating the food that Grandma made. Shen Pan explained. Well, what did you eat when you were a baby? It smells so good. I don't think we have it at home. Shen Pan stretched out her nose and took a sniff. She was quite familiar with Xiang because before she got married, her family would always make salted fish and bacon at the end of every year. The villagers were poor, and they couldn't even eat fresh pork, so they naturally didn't have the extra meat to make salted fish. If the salted meat was cooked properly, it was actually more delicious than fresh pork. For example, it was better to add some garlic to stir-fry it, or steam it with rice. The rice with the bacon would be infused with the fragrance of the bacon, which was very delicious. Shen Pan then explained to Feng Zhangxia, Mom, it's bacon. Bacon? I heard it's salted meat, right? There aren't many people in our village who eat it. Shen Pan nodded. Yeah, we don't eat it often. Then where did you get the milk from? Feng Zhangxia asked with some puzzlement. It must be from Lord Meng. Shen Pan guessed. Thinking of the good things that young Master Meng sent over the other day, Wu Chunhua carried many of them into the house by herself, without letting the Zhao family see them. Hearing Shen Pan's words, Feng Zhangxia couldn't help but scold her. This old hag is so cruel. She keeps all the good stuff to herself and doesn't even give it to her sons and grandsons. When they're old and can't move anymore, let's see who's going to take care of her. The more Feng Zhangxia thought about it, the angrier she was. She didn't think that Lord Meng would give her the good things when they separated from the family. Now that they were divided, she didn't get any of Lord Meng's good things. Shen Pan comforted her mother, Mother, don't think too much about it. When I go back, I'll go to my mother's house and bring some delicious food over. When Tianlong comes back, our good days will come. Right now, the most important thing is that we've separated from the family. Chapter 1294. Feng Zhangxia held Shen Pan's hand and said emotionally, Panner, you're my best daughter-in-law. Shen Panner smiled and said to Feng Zhangxia, Mom, it's what I should do. If your younger brother's future wife can be half as good as you, I'll be relieved. Feng Zhangxia sighed with emotion. Now that they had separated from the main family, there was basically nothing for him to worry about. The only thing he was worried about was Xiao Tianhu's marriage. After all, it concerned Xiao Tianhu's marriage, so he had to take it seriously. Mom, my younger sister-in-law will definitely be fine. Shen Panner said with a smile, but she felt a little uncomfortable in her heart. It was said that sisters-in-law were difficult to get along with. Who knew what kind of woman Xiao Tianhu would marry? If she wasn't easy to get along with, they would feel uncomfortable living together. Most importantly, if Xiao Tianhu married a woman, would Feng Zhangxia be biased? When her younger sister-in-law gave birth to a child, she would inevitably need Feng Zhangxia's help to take care of it. At that time, Feng Zhangxia wouldn't have so much time to take care of her Yang. Feng Zhangxia held Shen Panner's hand and said, I also hope that your younger sister-in-law will be a good girl. That way, we can live in harmony with each other. Shen Panner smiled and nodded, but she had other thoughts in her heart. Now that the main family and old Zhao's family had separated from each other, Shen Panner was happy that this matter was solved. Now, she was thinking that it would be better for her branch to separate from Xiao Tianhu's branch. Xiao Tianhu was just a farmer in the countryside. He couldn't be compared with Xiao Tianlong, who had obtained scholarly honors and was going to live a life of an official in the future. If she took Xiao Tianhu and his family with her, she would be asking Xiao Tianlong to take care of Xiao Tianhu's family for no reason. In that case, they would definitely be at a disadvantage. Unfortunately, Shen Panner couldn't say it now. If she said it, Feng Zhangxia would definitely be unhappy. She had to wait for a chance to say it in the future. Feng Zhangxia then pulled Shen Panner to talk about Xiao Tianhu's marriage. It wouldn't be long before Xiao Tianhu's wedding could be arranged. After finishing the meal in the third branch's house, Xiao Yuner went back home. She was carrying a food box with some food in it. Xiao Yuner wasn't sure whether the emperor had left or not, so she put more food in it. Otherwise, if it was like last time where the emperor ate all the food, Mu Lianfeng wouldn't be able to eat. She was still on the mountain was still on the mountain. Was still on the mountain. Mu Lianfeng led the emperor around the mountain and took a look at the smelting and weapon manufacturing places. This batch of weapons can greatly enhance the strength of our soldiers in Dezhou. The emperor stood with his hands clasped behind his back. After seeing the scene on the mountain, he praised Mu Lianfeng. Mu Lianfeng nodded. The weapons in Dezhou are definitely much better than those in other countries, but I don't dare to claim credit for it. It's all thanks to Yuner. The emperor's lips curled into a smile. Don't worry, Miss Yun has done a meritorious deed. I know. In the future, there should be a reward. I won't be short. I thank you on behalf of Yuner, Your Majesty. Mu Lianfeng said respectfully. Chapter 1295. Looking into the emperor's eyes, Mu Lianfeng's heart trembled. He felt that the emperor's sudden reaction was obviously because of some reason. Could it be that the emperor had doubts about his loyalty? His heart couldn't help but tighten. Mu Lianfeng hurriedly said, Your Majesty, this subject is loyal and devoted to Your Majesty. This subject will follow Your Majesty forever in this life. The emperor glanced at Mu Lianfeng, and the smile on his lips deepened. Mu Aiqing, why are you so excited? Zhen was just saying it casually. Zhen knows your loyalty. Mu Lianfeng didn't know why, but because of the emperor's words, he became even more nervous. A layer of cold sweat involuntarily appeared on his forehead. Your Majesty, this subject will try my best. This subject will definitely not let Your Majesty down. Mu Lianfeng opened his mouth and said, showing his loyalty in front of the emperor. The emperor's meaningful smile deepened. He didn't continue to answer Mu Lianfeng's words, which made Mu Lianfeng even more nervous. Just then, he saw a woman's figure coming over. It was Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun greeted the two men. I brought you food. Come and eat quickly. Mu Lianfeng was thinking, but the emperor took a step forward and walked towards Zhao Yun. After a while, Mu Yanfeng came back to his senses and followed the emperor's footsteps. It's really a blessing to be able to eat the food made by Miss Yun again today. The emperor glanced at the food with a smile in his eyes. Zhao Yun didn't know the emperor's identity. After knowing the emperor's identity, she was more or less afraid of this man. She was afraid that if she made him unhappy, she would suffer a calamity. It's nothing. It's just a few more dishes. If you want to eat, you can stay here for a few more days. Zhao Yun said politely, but didn't expect the emperor to directly agree. Mu Yanfeng was speechless as he looked at the man in bright yellow clothes. He still wanted to stay for a few more days. How could that be? Facing him every day, Mu Yanfeng felt that he was already depressed enough. If he stayed with him for a few days, how could he bear it? Most importantly, the emperor had to go back and deal with Imperial Consort Hua's imperial decree. However, no matter how rich Mu Yanfeng's thoughts were, he didn't dare to reveal any of them in front of the emperor. He was afraid that he would say something wrong and anger the emperor. While Mu Yanfeng was deep in thought, Zhao Yun had already placed the dishes on the small table. Seeing Mu Yanfeng in a daze, Zhao Yun greeted Mu Yanfeng again. Seeing Mu Yanfeng's restless look, Zhao Yun guessed the reason. She couldn't help but look at the emperor. Did he say something to Mu Yanfeng? Zhao Yun didn't ask too much. After serving Mu Yanfeng and the emperor for lunch, Zhao Yun went back. When she went down the mountain, she planned to go to Mu Lan's house and ask her to go up the mountain with her to pick tea. Just as she arrived at Mu Lan's courtyard, she heard the family Zhu quarreling. It was Madame Qi and Mrs. Zhu. Zhao Yun vaguely heard Mrs. Zhu scolding Madame Qi, "You damned woman, look at what you've done. You bought a broken mountain. What's the use of it? You squandered all the money at home. Now you can't even pay for your third brother's treatment. See how I deal with you." Chapter 1296. Mrs. Zhu was furious. She pointed at Madame Qi's nose and continued to scold her, "Tch, you only know how to talk big. It's because you're the head of the household that we can't keep our money and you squandered it away." Madame Qi was not convinced by Mrs. Zhu's scolding. "Mother, what's wrong with spending money? Dania hasn't said anything yet. What right do you have to scold me? If the money was in your hands, you would probably spend it all on third brother. Why would you even think about us?" Mrs. Zhu glared fiercely at Madame Qi. "You little Tch, you know how to talk back. When Daniel comes back, I'll have a good talk with him and see if he can't deal with you." After Mrs. Zhu said that, Madame Qi felt a little scared. She only said it in front of Mrs. Zhu. If Zhu Daniel came back and asked about the barren mountain, she wouldn't know what to say. She didn't want it to be like this. Who knew that the Tch Zhao Yun wouldn't buy it? Now she couldn't transfer it out. She thought about how she went over to the barren mountain yesterday. She went to look for Lord Li Zheng. When Madame Qi arrived at Li Zheng's house, Li Zheng happened to be home, so Madame Qi walked in. When Li Zheng saw Madame Qi, he wasn't very happy. This was because Madame Qi was a troublemaker in the village. She must be here for some trivial matter. However, even if he didn't welcome her, he couldn't stop her from coming. He asked Madame Qi, family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, "What are you here for today?" Madame Qi went up to Lord Li Zheng and smiled at him with a fawning look. "Lord Li Zheng. I'm here for something. There's something I want to discuss with you." Li Zheng's frown deepened. He had a premonition that something bad was going to happen. He replied faintly, "Just say it. I'll agree if I can. If I can't do it, I can't agree. Whether you agree or not depends on what it is." Madame Qi smiled embarrassedly and replied to Lord Li Zheng, "Lord Li Zheng, you're right. I'm here to discuss with you about the barren mountain. Can our village still take it back? I'll return it to the village. Can you return the 5 taels of silver I gave you earlier?" Hearing Madame Qi's words, Lord Li Zheng's face darkened. Originally, Zhao Yun'er still wanted to buy it. However, after being tormented by Madame Qi, Zhao Yun'er did not buy it. Because of this, Lord Li Zheng felt somewhat guilty towards Zhao Yun'er. Now, Madame Qi wanted to return the barren mountain to the village. If that was the case, then what was the point of buying it in the first place? Seeing Li Zhengdaren's sullen face and not speaking, Madame Qi nervously glanced at Li Zhengdaren. Lord Li Zheng. My family really can't use this barren mountain. When I bought it, I didn't discuss it with my husband. Now, my husband scolded me to death. He said that if I can't get back the 5 taels of silver, he will beat me to death. Madame Qi wiped her tears as she spoke, looking exceptionally pitiful. For a moment, Lord Li Zheng didn't know what to say to Madame Qi. That saying was right. Heaven's sins could be forgiven, but self-inflicted sins were the hardest to bear. For a person like Madame Qi, if she didn't suffer a little, she wouldn't learn her lesson. Chapter 1297. Madame Qi had taken the initiative to spend 5 taels of silver to buy the barren mountain, so it was normal for Zhu Dainiu to be angry. If his wife had spent 5 taels of silver to buy something useless, he would probably be angry too. Madame Qi's tears kept falling, looking panicked and helpless. Seeing this, village head felt pity for Madame Qi. However, how could they return something that was sold for no reason? Moreover, Madame Qi had bought the barren mountain and he had already helped her with the paperwork. Unless someone else bought it from Madame Qi, the village would not spend money to take it back. Sympathy was sympathy, but some rules could not be broken. Lord Village Head said to Madame Qi, family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, it's not that I don't want to help you, but the village really can't take back your barren mountain. It would have been fine if the paperwork hadn't been done, but now that the paperwork has been done, your name is also written on the title deed of the barren mountain in the village. Lord Village Head, can't you help me a little more? You can't just watch as my daimyo beats me to death, right? Madame Qi wiped her tears and continued to cry in front of Lord Village Head. Lord Village Head sighed deeply, AI, family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, I really can't help you. I'll talk to daimyo and ask him not to be agitated and not to beat you too hard. Madame Qi's eyes were still filled with worry. Lord Village Head, this won't do. My daimyo won't care. He'll deal with you verbally, but he'll continue to beat me later. Then I can't do anything about it. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, after all, you have a lot of responsibility for this matter. If you didn't insist on it back then, it wouldn't have ended up like this. Madame Qi pursed her lips and said, Lord Village Head, how would I know at that time? If she had known, she wouldn't have bought it even if she was beaten to death. Now, he finally knew what it meant to be regretful. AI, there's no way to change it now. Family Zhu's eldest daughter-in-law, instead of begging me, it's better to beg Zhao Yun. She just happens to want to buy the barren mountain. Let her buy your barren mountain and you can get your 5 taels back. Now you'd better leave. It's useless to say anything to me. As Li Zheng spoke, he looked like he was chasing Madame Qi away. Madame Qi knew that Lord Li Zheng was chasing her away. No matter how much effort she put in, Lord Li Zheng would not pay attention to her. She felt a little uncomfortable and pursed her lips. In order not to be disliked by Lord Li Zheng, Qi Shi turned around and left. As for Lord Li Zheng's suggestion for her to beg Zhao Yun, forget it. Zhao Yun'er, that be *tch, even if he begged her, it would probably be useless. Most importantly, Madame Qi couldn't bear to see her being humble to Zhao Yun, and Zhao Yun, showing off in front of her. After returning home, Madame Qi knew that she was at her wit's end and couldn't move the barren mountain out. She was afraid that Zhu Dainiu would mention this matter. Madame Qi thought about it again. Why did she want to take advantage of him? Great, now she had shot herself in the foot. Pulling her thoughts back to reality, Madame Qi angrily retorted in the face of Mrs. Zhu's incessant scolding, Mother, what's the use of scolding me? If you have the ability, go reason with Lord Li Zheng and ask him to take back the barren mountain. This way, won't we get our 5 taels back? Chapter 1298. It's fine if you don't want to say it. But we can't afford the money for third brother's treatment. Anyway, it's not our family's treatment. Madam Chi replied uncomfortably. Mrs. Zhu was so angry at Madam Chi that she almost vomited blood. This stinky woman had grasped this point. Bitch, see if I don't teach you a lesson. Without Dania's protection, where can you go? As Mrs. Zhu spoke, she picked up a stone from the ground and threw it at Madam Chi. Madam Chi quickly jumped away and frowned. She said angrily to Mrs. Zhu, "You old hag, you really dare to hit me. Aren't you afraid that you'll smash me to death? You deserve to be smashed to death." Mrs. Zhu replied fiercely. "All right. Vicious old hag, I usually put up with you because you're an elder. Since you've gone overboard, I won't be polite." As she spoke, Madam Chi rolled up her sleeves and looked like she was going to fight Mrs. Zhu to the death. In the courtyard, Mulan saw that her mother-in-law and sister-in-law were about to fight, so she quickly stepped forward and separated the two of them. "Mother, sister-in-law, don't fight. We're family. It's not good for anyone if you get hurt. If outsiders see this, they'll laugh at our family Zhu." Mrs. Zhu also glared at Mulan and said to Mulan with a look of disdain, "That's enough, second daughter-in-law, don't be hypocritical. I don't usually see you being so filial." "Mother." Mulan looked at Mrs. Zhu speechlessly. Why did she have to be scolded for no reason? Was it wrong for him to come and stop the fight? "Second sister-in-law, get out of the way. This old hag must be taught a lesson. Now that she's relying on Dania's protection, who does she think she is?" Madam Chi pushed Mulan and despised Mulan for being a hindrance. Mulan looked at Madam Chi helplessly and then looked at Mrs. Zhu, not knowing what to say. After thinking about it, she decided not to meddle in other people's business. She cared about them in her heart, but she didn't end up well in front of them. Since that was the case, what was the point of her doing this? It was better to not meddle in order to avoid offending them. Mulan then stepped back and let Mrs. Zhu and Madam Chi fight. The two of them fought intensely. Mulan stood at the side and frowned. Seeing the scratches on old Madam Zhu and Qi Shi's faces, she sighed helplessly. She could only let them go. If she went to stop them now, her face would be scratched too. For her own safety, she couldn't eat it. It was a pity that Zhu Daniu and Zhu Eru were not at home. Otherwise, it would be much better for the two men to go forward and stop them. This matter was caused by Zhu Sanlu, so Mulan said to Zhu Sanlu, "Third brother, mother and sister-in-law are fighting fiercely. Go and talk to them. Tell them to stop fighting. If the neighbors come over, they'll laugh at our family again." Zhu Sanlu looked at Mulan reluctantly and said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law, I don't want to. Didn't you see that old sister-in-law and mother are fighting fiercely? If I go over now, wouldn't it be worse? What if my handsome face is scratched? Can you afford to pay for it?" Mulan's mouth twitched a few times, and she looked at Zhu Sanlu speechlessly. A man saying such words was really too shameless. She didn't know how he had the nerve to say it. Chapter 1299. However, Zhu Sanlu didn't go over, and Mulan couldn't urge him, so she could only let Zhu Sanlu do as he wished. Glancing at Zhu Sanlu, Mulan sighed in her heart. She felt that her third younger brother was really too heartless. Mrs. Zhu fought with Madam Chi because of him. Now that she was beaten until her face was covered in bruises, Zhu Sanlu didn't feel any heartache. She had never seen a son who treated his own mother this way. Mrs. Zhu had doted on Zhu Sanlu for so many years for nothing. She had raised an ingrate who had no conscience. However, Mrs. Zhu couldn't see through him. She still doted on Zhu Sanlu like a treasure. By the time Zhao Yun walked into the family Zhu's courtyard, Mrs. Zhu and Madam Chi were already fighting fiercely. Zhao Yun couldn't help but want to laugh when she saw the two of them. It was a happy sight to see a B*TCH fighting another B*TCH. Zhao Yun looked at it with interest, as if she was watching a show. Seeing that Zhao Yun had come over, Mulan went forward to greet Zhao Yun. Yun, you're here. Zhao Yun nodded and responded, yeah. I was going to ask you to go up the mountain to pick tea leaves, but I didn't expect to see this scene. Mulan smiled helplessly. Yun, we've embarrassed ourselves in front of you. Ha, this has nothing to do with you. The two of them are fighting. You can just watch the show. Actually, you don't have to get involved with people like them. Otherwise, you'll get hurt. Mulan responded, yeah, Yun, I know. Zhao Yun, smiled and said, yeah, it's good that you know. I'm just afraid that you're too stupid. You can't be too kind-hearted. Yun, I'll remember what you said. Zhao Yun, recalled that Mrs. Zhu had said that she wanted to treat Zhu Sanlu's illness. She asked Mulan curiously, sister-in-law Mulan, what illness did your third brother get? At the mention of this, Mulan's ears turned red. She pursed her lips and said, what illness? My mother didn't ask for money to treat my third brother's illness. She asked for money so that my third brother's lifeblood could survive. When Zhao Yun heard Mulan's words, she couldn't help but choke. Your third brother's family jewels. They've been trampled on so. How can it be cured? Mulan shook her head. I don't know. I'm not sure. However, I have to say that in a village 20 miles away, there is a godly doctor who specializes in treating strange diseases. My mother asked around for a long time before she found out that this miracle doctor had cured someone's family jewels before. So, my mother wanted to take my third brother to have a try. If he succeeds, my third brother's family jewels will be preserved. In the future, he'll be able to marry a wife like a normal person. This way, our family Zhu won't have a descendant. After Zhao Yun heard this, she couldn't help but sigh in her heart. If Zhu Sanlu's family jewels were really cured, it would be terrible. Zhu Sanlu might harm people again like before. Therefore, it was much safer for Zhu Sanlu to lose his family jewels. If Zhu Sanlu's family jewels were really cured, who knew if he would harm people again? In order to prevent accidents from happening, it was better for Zhu Sanlu to be treated. Fortunately, the family Zhu had no money now. Without money, there would be no money for treatment. Zhu Sanlu's family jewels would not be cured. Zhao Yun felt a wave of sadness in her heart. Chapter 1300. With Zhao Yun's reminder, Mulan remembered that her third brother was a dangerous person and could not be cured easily. I know. Given the current situation, my third brother won't have the money to treat his illness. As Mulan said this, she heaved a sigh of relief in her heart. In the courtyard, Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi were still fighting fiercely. They only stopped when Zhu Dainiu came back. Zhu Dainiu said unhappily to Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi, what are you fighting about? What are you fighting about? Fighting and quarreling every day, isn't it annoying? Zhu Dainiu was in a bad mood and his face was gloomy. Originally, he was working well in the field. Suddenly, someone ran to him and told him that his mother and wife were fighting. At that time, there were many people around. After hearing this, they all looked at him strangely. Zhu Dainiu felt very embarrassed. After all, as a man, he cared a lot about his reputation outside. It was not good to have his mother and wife talked badly about. Now that he was back, Zhu Dainiu vented his anger on Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi. Madame Qi complained to Zhu Dainiu, Dainiu, you can't blame me for this. It's all my mother's fault. She picked up a stone and threw it at me first. I had no choice but to fight back. Mrs. Zhu glared at Madame Qi and said, bitch, no one is better at lying than you. It's all because you wasted 5 taels of silver and caused your third brother to be unable to treat his illness. Dainiu, this prodigal mother can't manage the family well. In the future, it's better to put the family's money in my hands. Otherwise, our family will have nothing to eat. Sooner or later, this bitch will squander it all. If it weren't for Zhu Dainiu, Madame Chi would have gone forward and scratched Mrs. Zhu's mouth. This damned old woman only knows how to talk. Now, she still wants to manage the family's money like before. She is really wishful thinking. Dainyu, don't listen to your mother. Mother is doing this for your third brother. If you really put the money in her hands, she will probably spend it on your third brother. With your third brother's condition, it's a waste of money to treat him. If you want to cure him, I'm afraid it will be a bottomless pit. Madame Chi did not want to fall behind and whispered in Zhu Dainyu's ear. Old Madame Zhu's saliva directly sprayed on Qishi's face. Bullshit. You couldn't spit out ivory just now. You're still Lu Er's sister-in-law. Is there such a sister-in-law? Mother, you're really biased. It would be great if you could take care of our first branch like this. Madame Chi said sarcastically. Zhu Dainyu had a headache because of old Madame Zhu and Madame Chi. Shut up, both. Mother Zhu is Dainyu. Do you believe that if you say another word, I'll give each of you a slap? Zhu Dainyu roared. His roar was so loud that Mrs. Zhu and Madame Chi's eardrums could not help but vibrate. The two of them were frightened by Zhu Dainyu and quickly shut their mouths. Zhu Dainyu glanced at Mrs. Zhu and then at Madame Chi. I am really unlucky to have met people like you. Next time, if you make a fuss, get out. Don't stay in the courtyard. Madame Chi's reaction to Zhu Dainyu's words was not bad. She was already used to it. Mrs. Zhu, on the other hand, was very uncomfortable. Her son disliked her so much and even said such things about her. Anyone would feel very uncomfortable. Chapter 1301. Old Madame Zhu sat on the ground and kicked up her legs. As she cried, she continued to wail, "These days are not over at all. My wife is not a kind person. She bullies me all the time. It's better for her to die so that I don't have to suffer up there." Hey, old man, did you hear that? Looking at Mrs. Zhu kicking her legs on the ground, Zhu Dainyu felt his temples ache uncontrollably. Wasn't her mother saying that he wasn't filial when she made such a fuss? If this was heard by others, they might poke him in the back again. He had to stay in the village and couldn't stand other people's gossip. Zhu Dainyu had to walk to Mrs. Zhu and pull Mrs. Zhu who was on the ground. Mother, what are you doing? You're shouting so loudly. The neighbors will hear it later. Mrs. Zhu replied unhappily, so what if they hear it? I have to show them how hard my life is. Zhu Dainyu's face was dark and unsightly. Mother, even if you don't think it's shameful, I still want to save my face. I just scolded you. Didn't you and Xiao Er's mother argue? If you two didn't argue in front of me, I wouldn't have scolded you. It's tiring enough to work every day. When I come home, I have to see you arguing. If you have so much energy, why don't you go to the field and help me? After Zhu Dainyu finished, Mrs. Zhu closed her mouth. She had made a fuss before. Now that she saw Zhu Dainyu's face changed and he seemed to be angry, she didn't dare to make a fuss again. If she really annoyed Zhu Dainyu, she would end up in a miserable state. Mrs. Zhu said with embarrassment, "Oh, Dainyu. I don't want to do this, but your third younger brother's family jewels have to be cured. No matter how poor our family is, we have to cure your third younger brother. Otherwise, I won't be able to face your father when I go back." As old Madame Zhu spoke, her resentful gaze fell on Qishe. If this B*TCH hadn't lost their family's money, they would have been able to pay for Zhu Sanlu's treatment. Mother, I think it's fine to not treat third brother's family jewels. Anyway, he can't do anything good with that kind of thing. Zhu Dainyu didn't have any taboos in front of old Madame Zhu and directly said to her. Even if his family was rich, he wouldn't let Mrs. Zhu use the money to treat Zhu Sanlu's family jewels. Madame Chi hurriedly chimed in, "That's right, mother. Don't you know what kind of person third brother is? It's a good thing that we don't have it, but if we do, we'll be in danger." Mrs. Zhu was furious. "I've never seen such a heartless brother and sister-in-law. Do you want our third branch to die?" Mrs. Zhu scolded. She breathed heavily and threatened Zhu Dainiu and Mrs. Qi, "If you don't agree to cure your third younger brother today, I'll kill myself in front of you. After I die, I'll curse you." Mrs. Zhu's words were very serious. Zhu Dainiu and Mrs. Qi were scared. People in the village were superstitious. They believed in things like curses very much. Chapter 1302. Zhao Yun, who was watching the drama, had the same thought as Mrs. Qi. Mrs. Zhu wasn't very old. If she lived well, she could live for at least 20 years. Who wasn't afraid of death? Especially old Madame Zhu, she was probably even more afraid of death. If she really hit the wall, Mrs. Zhu would be terrified. Mulan watched from the side, but she was very worried. She was afraid that old Madame Zhu would really take things too hard and hit the wall. She looked at Mrs. Zhu with concern. Zhao Yun, patted Mulan's hand and comforted her. "Mrs. Mulan, it's fine. Your sister-in-law is right. She's just bluffing. If you're scared, she'll achieve her goal." Mulan frowned and nodded. She murmured, "Well, I don't think so. My mother won't do that." Zhu Dainiu glanced at Mrs. Zhu. He was a little worried at first, but after hearing Mrs. Qi's words, he thought it was reasonable. Zhu Dainiu cared about money. He didn't know how much it would cost to cure his third younger brother. If he was soft-hearted and agreed, he would regret it in the future. Mrs. Zhu glared at Mrs. Qi. The more she thought about it, the more aggrieved she felt. They were sure that she wouldn't hit the wall, so they said those words. Thinking that Zhu Sanlu didn't have money to treat his illness, his penis couldn't recover, Mrs. Zhu felt desperate. Old Madame Zhu took a deep breath and mustered up her courage. She suddenly slammed her head against the wall. When she hit the wall, Mrs. Zhu deliberately controlled her strength. She only hit her head, but she wouldn't really kill herself. Ah! There was a sudden scream in the yard. Zhu Dainiu and Mulan both ran to Mrs. Zhu at once. Zhu Dainiu shouted, Mom, are you all right? Don't scare me." Mulan also shouted, "Mother, why did you hit your head against the wall?" Seeing this, Zhu Sanlu finally frowned and walked in the direction of old Madame Zhu. He knew better than anyone else that in the whole family Zhu, only his mother loved him the most. Without his mother, he couldn't live a good life. Therefore, his mother couldn't be eaten. Even if she died, he had to be able to raise himself and take care of himself first. Only Madame Qi stood there in a daze. She didn't expect that old Madame Zhu would really hit the wall. At this moment, she only muttered in her heart, "It's over, it's over. Zhu Dainiu will definitely scold her to death. What should she do? This damn old woman might harm others, but she still wanted to harm others after she died." Mrs. Qi silently prayed that she wouldn't be implicated. She didn't care about Mrs. Zhu's life at all. Old Madame Zhu's forehead was swollen and a lot of blood came out. It looked a little scary. Hearing Zhu Dainiu's voice, Mrs. Zhu pretended to cry. "You're such a heartless son. Why did you stop me? Do you still have me in your heart? I'd rather die." After all, she was his mother who raised him. Zhu Dainiu wasn't as heartless as Zhu Sanlu. Seeing Mrs. Zhu like this, he frowned and looked at Mrs. Zhu with worry. "Mom, don't be angry. Can't we talk it out? Do I have to find a living one?" Mrs. Zhu snorted. "Talk it out? What's there to talk about? Haven't you and your wife already made a deal?" Mom. Chapter 1303. Mrs. Zhu didn't believe that Zhu Dainiu wouldn't be scared if she made a scene a few more times. Everyone cared about their reputation, and she knew that her son valued his reputation very much. If she died because of Zhu Dainiu, the villagers would definitely gossip about Zhu Dainiu. Mom. Zhu Dainiu truly felt somewhat helpless, and he didn't know what to do. If he didn't agree, Mrs. Zhu would probably hit her head against the wall again. Zhu Dainiu couldn't be too harsh, so he could only angrily say to old Madame Zhu, "Mother, it's not that we don't want to treat third brother's illness. It's just that my wife has squandered all the money in the family. Mom, I'll teach her a lesson, but I don't have the money right now. Ah, then I don't want to live anymore. If I can't cure Zhuang, there's no point for me to live anymore. Zhu Dainiu twitched the corners of his mouth. After thinking for a while, he said to his mother, Mom, don't be like this. We need money to cure our third brother's illness. We can't steal money now. Well, why don't you ask our second brother and second sister-in-law for money? Their family is rich enough to build a house. I'm sure they can afford the money for our third brother's treatment. After Zhu Dainiu said that, Mrs. Zhu's sight fell on Mulan. Mulan's heart skipped a beat. What was Zhu Dainiu talking about? What did he mean by her family was rich? Her family wasn't living a good life either. Zhao Yun had borrowed the money to build a house. Now that the breakfast stand in the town was closed, they didn't have a fixed income. Before they found a new way to make money, they had to save money. They couldn't spend it casually. Zhu Dainiu had completely pushed all the blame onto her. It was impossible for Mulan to have any opinions in her heart. Second sister-in-law, mother gave birth to second brother and raised him. As a daughter-in-law, you should be filial to mother. You can't just watch mother die in front of us. Zhu Dainiu said to Mulan. Mulan couldn't help but snort coldly in her heart. Since she knew that she should be filial, why didn't she see how filial she was usually? Now she was talking about her. Mulan suppressed the anger in her chest and said to Zhu Dainiu, Brother, what are you talking about? Your family has no money, and my family has no money either. Second sister-in-law, if you don't want to care about our mother's life and death, just say it. How dare you say that you don't have money? Who doesn't know your family is rich? Mrs. Zhu scolded, Our old family Zhu has sinned by marrying a scourge. She only knows how to spend money on others and not on her own family. Mrs. Zhu was hinting at Mu Hin. Since Mulan had married into the family Zhu, she was a member of the family Zhu. In theory, she shouldn't meddle in her family's affairs. However, Mulan had brought Mu Hin to the family Zhu. In the family Zhu's eyes, they had raised an outsider for nothing. Mulan understood Mrs. Zhu's meaning, so she explained, Mother, my sister didn't come here to eat for free. She helped me every day. During this period, she helped Yun-er's breakfast stall and was paid. The money she earned was enough to pay for her living expenses. Mrs. Zhu didn't listen to Mulan's words. You are such an unfilial daughter-in-law. Your old family Zhu has 8 generations of bad luck. You don't even care about your mother-in-law's life and death. Chapter 1304. Zhu Dainiu hurriedly continued to nag in Mulan's ear. Mulan's brows knitted together in displeasure. Her older brother was really too interesting. He was reluctant to fork out his own money and pushed the blame to her. His words were so pleasant to hear. He was obviously treating her like a fool. She wasn't really a fool. If this had happened in the past, Mulan might not have dared to say anything. Now that he was following behind Zhao Yun, he had learned not to be taken advantage of. This time, Mulan replied somewhat unyieldingly. Eldest brother, we borrowed money from Yun-er to build our house. Now, we owe her dozens of taels of silver. Are you sure your family is poorer than mine? Not only do I have no money now, but I also owe a lot of money. At the very least, you don't owe anyone money, right? In comparison, you do have more money than me. So you have to take care of our mother's life first. You're the eldest son, the biological son. Your business is bigger than mine. When Mulan said this, Zhu Dainiu was immediately stumped and didn't know what to say. However, Zhu Dainiu couldn't bear to fork out the money, so he stubbornly said to Mulan, since your family can borrow dozens of taels of silver to build a house, why don't you continue to borrow more money to treat third brother's illness? Mrs. Zhu followed behind Zhu Dainiu and agreed, that's right, second daughter-in-law. If you have the ability to borrow money, why don't you borrow more to treat your third brother's illness? Mulan's mouth twitched. She had never met such a shameless person. She actually dared to say such things. If she borrowed money from Zhao Yun, to treat Zhu Sanlu's illness, she would definitely have to repay the money that she borrowed from Zhao Yun, The rest of the family Zhu definitely had no intention of helping her repay the money. Wouldn't it be equivalent to her paying for Zhu Sanlu's treatment? As expected, she was still too thin-skinned in front of them. Mulan was so angry that she wanted to curse. In the end, she calmed down and thought about it. She said to Zhu Dainiu and Mrs. Zhu, "Big brother, it's easy for you to say that. I've already seen dozens of taels of silver. How can I have the nerve to go and borrow more? If you want to borrow it, why don't you go, big brother?" Zhu Dainiu originally had an abacus in his heart. Now that Mulan said this, how could he continue with his wishful thinking? She pursed her lips and said to Mulan, "How can I borrow it? I'm not familiar with Zhao Yun. Even if I go over, she won't lend it to me." "Second sister-in-law, you're familiar with Zhao Yun, As long as you ask, she won't refuse to lend it to you." Zhao Yun, was speechless as she listened to the conversation. The Zhu family's top-notch goods were usually harder to find. It was obvious that they were ganging up to bully Mulan's family. As the saying went, kind people were bullied and kind horses were ridden. Sometimes, one shouldn't be too nice. Otherwise, women would think that they were easy to bully. This was Mulan's family matter. As an outsider, Zhao Yun couldn't interfere too much. She waited to see how Mulan would deal with it. Mulan sneered, "Big brother, you have a great idea. You said that you don't have the money. If you really want to treat third brother, why don't you sell the family's 1 mu of land? Then you'll have the money. Why should I borrow it?" Chapter 1305. Zhu Dainiu's face instantly turned red when he heard Mulan's words. After all, he knew that he was in the wrong. He wanted to argue with Mulan, but he couldn't. Zhao Yun, couldn't help but want to give Mulan a thumbs up. She was really good. She should have said that. There was no need to save any face for a weirdo like the family Zhu. Zhu Dainiu didn't say anything, but Mrs. Zhu started to make a fuss. "Second daughter-in-law, you be *tch. You still want to sell our family Zhu's fields. These are the roots of our family Zhu's livelihood. How are we going to survive without the fields? It's fine if you don't bear to part with the money, but how could you say such things? Family Zhu married you for nothing." Mulan said to Mrs. Zhu with a straight face, "Mother, I've already made myself very clear. Previously, when we separated from the family, third brother and eldest brother lived together. The fields were also handed over to eldest brother. My family didn't get any benefits. So, no matter what happened to third brother, he should look for eldest brother instead of us. If you really want me to be responsible for the money, why don't you transfer all of third brother's fields to me? My family will pay for third brother's treatment." After Mulan finished speaking, Mrs. Zhu's face darkened. How could he bear to hand over Zhu Sanmu's fields to Mulan? A mu of land was expensive. If Zhu Sanlu sold all of his fields, he would probably be able to get more than 10 taels of silver. And Zhu Sanlu's treatment didn't need more than 10 taels of silver. At most, he would only need a few taels of silver. She went to the godly doctor's village to inquire about the price. Because the godly doctor was from the countryside and wasn't a famous doctor in Yang City, the house visit fee wasn't expensive. The villagers basically didn't have much money. The godly doctor knew that, so he never asked for a high price. You black-hearted wife. My heir didn't say anything, but you said it. I'll ask heir to pay for it later." Mrs. Zhu replied unwillingly. Mulan snorted coldly, "Mother, it doesn't matter who you tell. Anyway, my family has no money. Heir can't take it out either." When Mrs. Zhu heard this, her heart sank. She slapped her thigh and cried, "I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live anymore. I'll just kill myself." They were all heartless people. "Old man, if you leave, my life will be miserable. The whole family only knows how to bully me. With that, Mrs. Zhu wanted to bang her head against the wall again. Originally, Mulan still cared about Mrs. Zhu. But now, she didn't want to talk to Mrs. Zhu at all. Because as long as they paid attention to Mrs. Zhu, the second branch would be at a disadvantage. Anyway, Zhu Dainiu was there. If even her son didn't care about her, how could outsiders cast their eyes on her, their daughter-in-law, to blame? Sometimes, one had to be ruthless, especially in a situation like this where it was obvious that they would be at a disadvantage if they were soft-hearted. Second sister-in-law, are you really going to watch our mother die without doing anything? Zhu Dainiu gulped as Mulan asked. Mulan replied, Big brother, are you going to watch our mother die without doing anything? Why don't you sell a mu of land and raise enough money to treat third brother's illness? That way, we won't have to seek death. Zhu Dainiu choked and didn't know how to reply. When did his second sister-in-law become so eloquent? She wasn't like this in the past. Chapter 1306. Zhu Sanlu walked over to Mrs. Zhu impatiently and said to Mrs. Zhu, Mother, why are you crying? Don't make a fuss. If it doesn't work, just sell me 1 mu of land to save me the trouble. Mrs. Zhu stopped crying and blinked at Zhu Sanlu. That's the capital for your future wife. If you sell the land, how will you and your wife live in the future? If you don't have land to plant, you won't have food to eat. You'll starve to death. Mrs. Zhu loved her youngest son dearly. She was afraid that Zhu Sanlu wouldn't have a good life in the future, so she started to scheme for Zhu Sanlu. Zhu Sanlu replied indifferently, Mother, that's a matter for the future. We'll talk about it later. The most important thing now is to cure my manhood. Otherwise, without it, how can I get a wife? I'm afraid I'll be single for the rest of my life. Mrs. Zhu thought about Zhu Sanlu's words. That was indeed the case. If Zhu Sanlu's manhood couldn't be cured, he would be equivalent to a cripple in the future. Even if he got a wife, he wouldn't be able to carry on the family line. Wouldn't that be tantamount to being boring? The most important thing now was to cure Zhu Sanlu. All right then. Later, I'll ask your eldest brother to help you find the person who bought the land and sell 1 mu of land to treat your illness. Mrs. Zhu responded. Seeing that Mrs. Zhu had thought it through and stopped tormenting him, Zhu Dainiu finally breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. He followed Mrs. Zhu and said, Mother, I'll help you ask later. Mrs. Zhu snorted and glanced at Zhu Dainiu unhappily. In the end, it's because of your good wife. If she hadn't lost the 5 taels of silver, would our family be able to buy Lu Er's land now? Zhu Dainiu's expression was also ugly. Thinking of this, Zhu Dainiu became angry. His unhappy gaze fell on Mrs. Qi. Mrs. Qi felt very uncomfortable when Zhu Dainiu looked at her like this. She replied weakly, I didn't think of it, it's been a few days and this barren mountain hasn't been sold yet. I think you want to keep this thing to eat. Zhu Dainiu scolded Mrs. Qi angrily. Dainiu. I'm also anxious, but I can't find anyone to buy it. Didn't you say that Zhao Yun wants it? Hurry and ask her if she still wants it, we have to sell it. Otherwise, we won't get a farts. After Zhu Dainiu finished speaking, he didn't forget to add, if you can't get me some money, I'll really rent you out. Let's see if you's life. Madame Qi responded weakly and looked at Zhao Yun. She really had no choice but to beg Zhao Yun. Because she really didn't want to be rented out to give birth to another man's child and become his wife. Generally, men who gave birth to women couldn't marry a wife. They were either too ugly or too poor. They could only rent a woman back to give birth to a child to carry on the family line. If she really went over, then her life would be miserable. Thinking about her future life, she had to beg Zhao Yun, no matter what. Even if her heart was full of unwillingness. At this time, Zhao Yun, was still in the family Zhu's courtyard, talking to Mulan. It was nothing more than praise for Mulan. Chapter 1307. Before she could say a few words to Mulan, she saw Madame Qi walking towards her. Zhao Yun raised her head, the corners of her mouth evoked a cold smile. Madame Qi stopped in front of Zhao Yun and smiled at Zhao Yun. Madame Qi's sudden show of goodwill, Zhao Yun knew that it must be because of something. She sneered and asked, "Sister-in-law, do you have something to say?" Madame Qi asked in a fawning manner, "Yun, do you still want to buy that barren mountain?" Zhao Yun knew what Madame Qi meant. She shook her head and replied, "Didn't I say already? I don't need it anymore." Madame Qi suddenly became anxious. "Yun, didn't you want it before? Why do you suddenly not want it now? Do you think that the price I quoted is too high? How about this, we can discuss the price, as long as you're willing to buy it." Madame Qi wouldn't have said this before. Now that she was forced into a corner, she could only say this to Zhao Yun, because if she didn't sell the barren mountain, she would suffer in the future. Price? Then tell me yourself, how much are you going to give up? Zhao Yun hooked up the corner of her mouth and asked. This. Madame Qi's eyes turned. She had to think of a compromise price. She wouldn't suffer too much loss, and her daughter was willing to buy it. "Yun, how about this, I'll transfer 4 taels of silver to you. I'll lose 1 tael, and you'll save 1 tael of silver compared to buying it directly from there." If Zhao Yun didn't accept it, it could only be said that Zhao Yun was too greedy. To Madame Qi's disappointment, Zhao Yun really didn't say a word. Madame Qi became even more anxious. "Zhao Yun, 4 taels of silver is already very low. Don't tell me you still want more. I can't give you the entire barren mountain, right?" Zhao Yun's eyes flashed with a trace of craftiness as she faintly spat out 2 words, 2 taels. "What?" Madame Qi's eyes widened, as if she didn't understand what Zhao Yun said. Zhao Yun explained, "Don't you understand? What I mean is, if you want to sell it to me, I will only give you 2 taels of silver." Madame Qi opened her mouth and was a little angry. How could she be like this? Wasn't this clearly bullying and taking advantage of her? Zhao Yun chopped off more than half of the 5 taels of silver worth of goods. How big of a loss did their family have to suffer? "Zhao Yun, isn't 2 taels of silver too little? I spent 5 taels of silver to buy it. Even if you go to Li Zheng's place, I'm afraid you won't be able to buy a place for 2 taels of silver." Madame Qi frowned and said to Zhao Yun, What Madame Qi said was the truth. Not only could they not buy it, even finding a mountain to grow tea leaves was more difficult. After all, some places were remote, or on the higher side, or because of the direction of the terrain, they were not suitable. Those places required time, energy, and money to develop, so it was more difficult. Instead, the barren mountain in Madame Qi's hands was the most suitable. If it wasn't because of this, Zhao Yun wouldn't have spent this time to deal with Madame Qi. With her character, she wouldn't have bought it if Madame Qi did such a thing. "If you're not selling it for 2 taels, then forget it. We have nothing to discuss." Zhao Yun directly opened her mouth and said to Qi Shi. Madame Qi's face was bitter as she looked at Zhao Yun. "Yun, 2 taels of silver is really too little. Why don't you add a little more? If you add a little more, I'll sell it to you. 2 taels of silver, I can't add any more." Chapter 1308. Zhao Yun sneered. When she saw Madame Qi's distressed expression, she felt happy. Madame Qi originally planned to get money from her, but she probably didn't expect that she would suffer a double loss. How delightful. She had to let these greedy people suffer. Otherwise, these people would still be like this next time. Forget it, forget it. Since you don't want to sell it for 2 taels and 5 taels, I don't want this barren mountain anymore. Zhao Yun waved her hand, looking like she didn't want to continue the discussion. Madame Qi bit her lower lip. Zhao Yun didn't want to buy it. She was afraid that if she transferred the 2 taels of silver to someone else, they wouldn't want it. After all, who wouldn't buy a barren mountain for no reason? She spent money and couldn't take care of it, so she couldn't grow food. She didn't know why Zhao Yun wanted to buy a barren mountain. Otherwise, she could learn from Zhao Yun, and make something out of it. Yun, you also know that the things I bought with 5 taels of silver were cut in half. It's really too much. We're all honest people, so we can't take advantage of you too much. If you really want to buy it, I'll give you 3 taels. Is that okay? Zhao Yun's eyes turned. 3 taels was really too little. This Madam Qi saved her 2 taels of silver in one go. Zhao Yun couldn't help but feel a little comfortable. However, she pretended to be in a difficult position. Sister-in-law, actually, I don't have much use for this barren mountain. It's dispensable. 3 taels of silver is a good thing. Yes. Yun, you're right. But I did spend 5 taels of silver to buy this barren mountain. You know. The price I paid was enough. You bought it, so you made a profit. All right then. 3 taels it is. This is because I'm giving face to sister-in-law Mulan. Otherwise, no matter how much you beg me, I won't buy it. Madam Qi smiled embarrassedly. Obviously, her heart was bleeding and she wanted to curse. But in front of Zhao Yun'er, she still had to smile and follow behind Zhao Yun'er to agree. Yes. Yun'er, I'll remember it. Later, give me 3 taels of silver and I will let you have the title deed. You just have to let Lord Li Zheng handle the procedures. Zhao Yun responded faintly. Thinking that Madam Qi had lost 2 taels of silver at once, Zhao Yun'er felt very happy. It wasn't easy for them to sell the barren mountain. Although they had lost a lot of money, Madam Qi finally felt relieved. After Zhao Yun'er finished talking, Madam Qi turned to Zhu Dainyu and explained to Zhu Dainyu. Zhu Dainyu still scolded Madam Qi, "It's all because of you, stinky woman. You made me lose 2 taels of silver at once. Later, if you don't earn back those 2 taels of silver for me, you'll get it." Madam Qi curled her lips in grievance and said to Zhu Dainyu. "Dainyu, how can I have the ability to earn money? The child is still young. I have to take care of the child, cook and do housework. I can't find the time." Zhu Dainyu snorted coldly, "Why can't you do it? Could it be that second sister-in-law has to do less work and take care of less children than you? How come she can earn money but you can't?" Speaking of this, Zhu Dainyu felt very uncomfortable in his heart. He was somewhat envious of his second brother, Zhu Eru. Chapter 1309. Now his second brother's family could live in a big house, but he still had to stay in a small thatched hut. When the villagers talked about the 2 brothers, they would definitely say that his second brother was more capable than him. How could he be balanced in his heart? Madam Qi curled her lips in grievance and said, "Qiao's father, second sister-in-law is second sister-in-law. I'm not as capable as second sister-in-law. Aren't most women in the village the same? How can I make money?" Madam Qi's words only sounded like an excuse to Zhu Dainyu. After a cold snort, he continued to scold Madam Qi, Okay, don't give me so many excuses. If second sister-in-law can make money, you have to make money too." Madam Qi was very embarrassed and said to Zhu Dainyu, "It's not as simple as you say. Second sister-in-law can make money because she followed Zhao Yun. Zhao Yun has the capital to do business, but I don't have any capital. Where can I make money?" Zhu Dainyu glared at Madam Qi, thinking that this woman had so many excuses. It was fine that she didn't have the ability, but she made so many excuses in front of him. "Second sister-in-law, you also made a lot of money without following Zhao Yun. In the end, it's all because you don't have the ability." Zhu Dainyu snorted softly, thought for a while, and said, "Didn't second sister-in-law make that wicker basket and sell it to make money before? You should follow second sister-in-law and learn from her. Make some wicker baskets and sell them." Madam Qi continued to think of a way to refute Zhu Dainyu's words. "Qiao's father, you can't say that. I don't know how to weave." Second sister-in-law may not teach me how to weave, I'll talk to second sister-in-law. If second sister-in-law agrees, you have to learn from her. Madame Chi responded weakly and didn't dare to object. Zhu Dainyu walked up to Mulan and looked at Mulan ingratiatingly. Second sister-in-law, can you teach your weaving skills to your sister-in-law? Mulan was a little angry about what happened just now, so she didn't want to talk to Zhu Dainyu. However, Zhu Dainyu was thick-skinned and did not want to leave. Mulan continued, second sister-in-law, don't be angry. Just teach your sister-in-law. Look at us, the people of the first branch don't have it easy. It was still okay before, but your sister-in-law lost so much money all of a sudden. If she doesn't earn some money, she probably won't be able to live on. There are old and young at home. After listening to Zhu Dainyu's complaints, Mulan's heart softened. She thought that teaching Madame Chi how to weave a wicker basket was nothing. If she taught Madame Chi how to weave a wicker basket, Madame Chi would have something to do every day. It would save Madame Chi the trouble of coming over and looking for trouble. Mulan said to Zhu Dainyu, Big brother, I can teach her, but I have to make it clear that weaving a wicker basket is not that easy. It's easy to hurt your hands. It's hard to make money by doing this. It was Madame Chi's hard work. It had nothing to do with Zhu Dainyu, so Zhu Dainyu said indifferently, it's okay. What kind of money is easy to make? That's fine. Mulan responded. Zhu Dainyu walked up to Madame Chi and greeted her, second sister-in-law has agreed. You go back and learn. Be honest and diligent, or you'll be in trouble. Madame Chi pursed her lips, I know, Chiao's father. I will learn well. Chapter 13:10. Seeing Zhu Dainyu's attitude towards Madame Chi, Zhao Yun could not help but sigh. A pitiful person must have a hateful side. Madame Chi was like this. People were hateful, but at the same time, they had a pitiful side. For example, Madame Chi was so miserable because of Zhu Dainyu. Zhu Dainyu did not seem to care at all. Since she was his wife, shouldn't he dote on her? Why did he treat Madame Chi like this? However, this was other people's business. Zhao Yun could not care so much. She just needed to deal with her own business. After leaving Mulan's house, they went to the mountain together to pick tea leaves. When they came back from picking tea leaves, a middle-aged man came to Zhao Yun's house. It turned out that the deputy county magistrate sent him to inform Zhao Yun. Many people in Yang City liked Zhao Yun's tea leaves very much, so many people wanted to order a batch. The deputy district magistrate thoughtfully gave a list of the people who needed tea and how much tea they needed. He asked someone to give it to Zhao Yun. This way, it would be very convenient for Zhao Yun to calculate. She could clearly know how many caddies of tea she needed. After the person who sent the message left, Zhao Yun opened the letter and calculated. The amount of tea leaves needed was too large. She had to prepare a total of 70 to 80 kilograms of tea leaves. At present, she only had 30 kilograms at most. She did not have so much tea leaves at all. However, she could not delay for too long. Otherwise, those customers would be dissatisfied. It seemed that these people who were hired to pick tea leaves in the mountain had to bring back more. Otherwise, in the current situation, the supply would not meet the demand. Zhao Yun thought about it. There were not many people in the village who could be trusted. It was not easy to find a few reliable people. If she randomly found a few people, she was afraid that she would be targeted. Zhao Yun frowned and thought about how to solve this problem. While Zhao Yun was thinking, Mu Yanfeng came back from the mountain. Zhao Yun smiled. Why are you back so early today? His Majesty is preparing to go back tomorrow. There's nothing else to do now. Zhao Yun heaved a sigh of relief and replied, It's good that he's fine. You're always a little uncomfortable with him here. Zhao Yun suddenly thought of what the emperor had said to a dark-skinned man on the mountain that day. She had forgotten to tell Mu Yanfeng. She hurriedly told Mu Yanfeng, there's something I forgot to tell you. Zhao Yun'er repeated what the emperor had said to the black man that day. When Mu Yanfeng heard this, he frowned. After thinking for a while, he understood. So that's how it is. In the end, he was still suspicious of me. Mu Yanfeng's tone was a little disappointed. He was diligent and loyal to the emperor. Could it be that the emperor was suspicious of him because of a few words from others? Or it could be said that the emperor did not trust anyone. As an emperor, he was too suspicious. This was not a good thing. Zhao Yun'er comforted him, "You don't have any ulterior motives. I believe that he can see through it. It's fine." Mu Yanfeng nodded. Even if there was a problem, there was nothing he could do. He could only prove his innocence through his own actions. As long as the emperor did not make things difficult for him and Zhao Yun'er on the marriage. Zhao Yun'er and Mu Yanfeng went to rest early.